All right, let me see. Should be working smoothly now. The volume here. Um so I'm just back for a live stream here. I believe the last live stream I done was probably like 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. So, I've been overdue for doing a live stream. Shit comes up, so hey, as Mark would say, right? Shit happens, right? As my buddy Mark would say. So sometimes you got to postpone things and reschedule it. It is what it is. Is what it is. So I had some time on my hands tonight. Um, I did just get off a stream. I was on Jamie's panel, right? Jamie, what's his dude? Babble off or Babble on? He calls himself. And I just hopped on his stream for maybe 45 minutes. It's always wild in there. It's always a bunch of knucklehead Christians, that call into this guy's show. They really have like a whole community over there. They have a damn, Discord page, which I am in, but I don't really talk to nobody on there. I just talk to James or Jamie. The dude goes by a lot of different names. Um, so I saw they were live, so I was figuring, like, I'll just hop on here for a couple minutes, see what the hell is going on. And, as expected, I could see it from, miles away how, you know, the panel already would go before I even hop on here. Right. So, I clicked the link, call into the show, see what's going on. Christians on here talking about, usual mumbo jumbo, and, arguing and, yelling and screaming at one another. It was like, damn, that this is Christianity, in 2000, well, almost 26 here, right? Almost 2026. And, half of these people are not even capable of engaging in a conversation without, over talking and, yelling and screaming at one another. You know what I'm saying? It really is just sad and pathetic. I just find it to be really sad and pathetic, how a lot of these, panels are on here, man. You would think that, especially religious people, right? Hell, atheists, it's one thing, but especially religious people, who believe that there's, a God involved that is, taking count of our actions, they'd be able to, behave themselves and having conversations. But, what I typically find out, due to these YouTube interactions and, panels is a lot of these atheist channels, and keyword has said a lot, so not all of them, but a lot of them seem to be more respectful than a lot of these Christian panels. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just find that, sad and pathetic. I would honestly expect it to be the other way around, but, for some bizarre, strange reason, it's not so. Let me just check something in the back here. Yeah, I see Jay Gee. Jay Gee is live as well. There's so many people around here that have the name Jay or James or hell G Man, right? They all start with a damn J. It gets confusing to remember all these people. Due to everybody having similar names or names starting with the same damn letter. It's yeah. So yeah, as far as this stream, I mean, I don't have a particular subject or topic in mind here. It's just just a little random live show. I don't have any guest plan to bring up here, and and stuff like that. Oh, one thing I want to mention, I seen what was this cat? Believe it's believe it's Mike from this channel. Not inspiring philosophy. Where his name is Mike too. Um, But what was that? This dude we've had on the show like a couple of times. That's such a fan of this African pastor, right, brother Joshua. Anybody remember what I'm talking about? Oh, I believe it's like New Light Studios. I believe his channel name is right. New Light Studios. Me and him had a couple interactions, a couple conversations, and he's actually really respectable, a nice guy, but that doesn't mean that he's right with what he's saying. You know, on one hand, he's a free gracer. On the other hand, believes in the Trinity. On the other hand, well, rapture could happen any day. It could even be tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. I saw a video on his page the other day that he put up, and he's like, "Well, yeah, rapture might happen in sometime, end of next year." It's like, so see, my prediction came true. He was gonna, just say that it's like next year, like in October or November, right? So they just moved it on for another year, right? It was supposed to be like April, September, October, November. And then, of course, when that didn't happen, October next year or November next year, 2026. It's like, okay, well, we saw this coming from, 50 miles away. I mean, you guys are predictable. You know what I'm saying? It's just so shocking and bizarre to me how, there's still people out here who believe in such garbage like this. Yo, how you doing, Alfred? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Um, but it's so shocking and bizarre to me. The Bible clearly gives us the answer. So we shouldn't have to sit here and have, 5,000 debates about like when the rapture is going to happen. Or if it's like, a secret thing and, what's going to occur. The Bible gives us the answers, right? Matthew 24, verse 29 on down. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the Son of Man's going to come back, and then he's going to send his angels to gather together his elect from all over the world. So, I mean, hey, the debate is over. It says at the end of the tribulation, right? It says immediately after. Immediately after, right? At the end of it. So how the hell could it be before or in the middle? It literally says after. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so strange to me, how people don't want to acknowledge the fact. Oh, and then, of course, I can't forget this. Um, then I asked him, what's your thoughts on Mark 13, 32, which says, of that day and that hour, nobody knows, not even the angels that are in heaven, neither Christ, but only the Father. Let me say it again. That is my mic drop moment right there. That is my mic drop moment. Of course, pardon the pun, because his name's Mike too. Shit, so I dropped the mic on him, and then, metaphorically, I bitch slapped or dropped Mike on the other hand, right? You're right, but Mark 13:32, it says, of that day and that hour, nobody knows, not even the angels in heaven, neither Christ, but only the Father. So hold up a second. It says nobody knows when this is going to happen, but somehow brother Joshua knows because he had like some type of dream about the rapture, or somehow still small voice Claire somehow knows. Somehow these knuckleheads on YouTube somehow know the day and the hour, but yet the Bible says Christ and the angels don't even know when it's going to happen. And then I confront him about it because it's such a hard-hitting point that he's wrong about the, setting dates for the rapture. And then he's like, well, it really means Christ did actually know. He just didn't really want to tell us. It's like, okay, so is he lying then? Because it says that he doesn't know. Well, he does actually know, but he just made it look like he doesn't know, or it's not really talking about that nobody would know the dates. And he goes on some mumbo jumbo, bullshit rant about what it actually means, right? So the dude did like multiple videos about it. I don't have the time to sit through, watch the shit. But if you go to his channel, once again, it's New Light Studios, and scroll through his uploads. And by the way, this dude's getting like thousands and thousands and thousands of views on his videos. Why? Because people want to hear what he's saying. They're teaching that good and humbling thing. They're saying what people want to hear. Right? They're teaching a convenient lie. But we're telling the uncomfortable truth. Hey, shalom to Lion of Judah. How you doing, my friend? Right, over here on this channel, and a few like-minded channels around, we're teaching the truth. So that's why we get, a few subscribers, only a couple of views, and people don't want to hear what we're saying because what we're saying over here is the truth. And guess what? The truth hurts, as the old saying goes, right? The truth hurts. You know, Hell, matter of fact, I should even change the logo for the stream. Y'all ever seen that meme about how it was two tables, right? The one seller has a line out the damn door because he's giving convenient lies compared to the other dude that has a table where he's telling unpleasant truths and there's not even a single person there to hear it. Why is that? Because everybody wants to hear that smooth and comfortable doctrine. Everybody wants to hear what makes them feel good, makes them feel, warm and fuzzy on the inside. That's what everybody wants to hear. So that's always why these knuckleheads on YouTube that are, teaching warm and kind, hugs and kisses, type doctrines are getting so popular. Yeah, how you doing, my guy, Luke? Yeah, glad to hear you're doing all right, Luke, because I've seen that there's, a lot of shit going on over in Australia recently. So good that brother's doing all right. How's it going, Ridge? Right, Ridge gets conspiracy. Yeah, Ridge told me in the comments that he got terminated his main channel, so he just made a new one, which is, on the screen there. So if you type that in, you could probably find his channel. But yeah, I hear you, man. A lot of us are getting, dealt with unfairly by YouTube. A lot of us are getting our, videos flagged and unfairly censored. Like, say, for instance, like there's certain words that we can't even use on here, without getting the video flagged and, removed. So you know what I'm saying? So you're limited with what you're allowed to talk about on this platform. And I see some people try to say, oh, why don't people like move to Odyssey or to BitChute or a couple of these other platforms. But the truth is that none of these platforms, while it is true they might give you total freedom of speech to say whatever the hell you want over there, but guess what? Nobody's watching anything over there, right? Like, say, for instance, I clicked on one channel I wanted to check out on there. This dude, Off the Grid, Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. I clicked on his channel on Odyssey or BitChute to check out what's going on. And basically getting, what, a couple hundred views over there, which, again, is not nothing, but, people don't really watch anything over there. But meanwhile, he'll do a stream on YouTube and get 20,000, views on the video. Which, of course, he's being censored too. That's why they deleted his main channel that he had a couple years ago. I believe he had like 70,000 subs, but now he had to redo it and only got like, what, maybe 9,000, maybe 10,000, something like that. But yeah, man, you got to watch what the hell you say on here. Let me just see something real quick. Did you see the video where I slashed forced to shave? No, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Oh yeah, under 16 ban. I know about that. Like in Australia, for those who've been living under a rock the last couple of, well, weeks, I guess at this point, but it went into effect a few days ago. They banned all social media, like I guess that's Facebook, Instagram, Meta, and stuff like that for everybody under 16. So if you're 13, 14, 15, you can't use those apps. But if you're 16, magically you can. It's like, okay, well, how does that make any damn sense? Like, say, for instance, you do realize whenever you go to the App Store to download Facebook, Instagram, or, Twitter, or, the 50,000 other apps that people use to socialize, you do realize the vast majority of these apps up in the top corner, they tell you that it's for like 13 plus. So sure, if they wanted to ban like, 7 or 8-year-olds or 9-year-olds from being on Facebook, that's a little more understandable than, banning, 12, 13, 14-year-olds from being on these social media platforms. That's totally oppressive. Like I know when I was younger, I used to be on these platforms. And I don't see any reason why these people can't use that. In fact, I would argue this is completely oppression. Dr. Epstein, right? Robert Epstein, the author of Teen 2.0, the Harvard trained psychologist, which I recommend checking his book out, by the way, Teen 2.0. But he talked about in the book, society is going the complete opposite direction, dealing with teens, right? It's every year that goes by, they're tightening the noose, the metaphoric noose that they have around young people's necks, right? Did you know that young people, right, so-called teens, are exposed to more restrictions than incarcerated felons? According to Robert Epstein's research, that's what he's concluded, right? That young people have to deal with more restrictions than incarcerated felons. Look that up. Right? There's so many restrictions put on young people. It really is unfair. So they're not imagining that they're being oppressed. They really are being oppressed in every way, shape, and form. They're being oppressed. And of course, any person that has to, go through some type of unfair oppression, that's going to affect you in some way, shape, and form. That's why you see all of these, problems with young people, right? Acting out and, harmful and, bad ways. It's not because there's something wrong with their brain, but it's because these people are being oppressed. They're being kept in a prolonged childhood that's not biologically natural, right? Childhood ends when you hit puberty. That's what makes you a man or a woman, is when you're able to reproduce. Okay, that's the way it's been for all of human history up until like 150 years ago. And basically every culture in the world believed in that by like 90%. Okay. So, to view it, there's an adolescent or a teenager. That's just a belief that is in the modern world today. That did not exist 200 years ago. All it takes, if you literally go on Wikipedia, look up the term teen or teenager, you're going to learn real quick the history of it. The term was invented in the early 1910s, but was not used popularly in culture, was not used in culture until the 40s. So while the term did exist back since the early 20th century, it was not used. People didn't use the slang until like the mid 20th century, roughly. Again, all it takes is 2 minutes to Google this information. So anybody that thinks that we're just making this up with what we're saying, all it takes is very, very easy to Google this information. This is not hidden. Hell, at one point it was. At one point they wouldn't really tell you this stuff on there, but now when you look at, you can start to see, some of this information a little bit. As far as adolescents go, which is basically another term for teenagers or whatnot, right? That stage of life did not exist for 99% of human history. It was invented in the late 19th century to early 20th century. And one of the leading pioneers of the belief is this guy named Granville Stanley Hall. Look him up on Wikipedia, G. Stanley Hall, right? And Mr. Epstein, Robert Epstein, speaks about this in his book, Teen 2.0. Right. And basically this individual, there's other people that, acted in the creation of modern day adolescence, but it's one of the four founders, of the belief. Like, say, for instance, like just how Charles Darwin is called, the founder of the belief of evolution, but there were many other scientists who, enacted with the finding of the belief. He was just one of the people who, mainly came up with the idea at the beginning before others joined in, to to spread the belief and the research into the topic, right? Yeah, so the Australia under 16 ban is completely evil and wicked, and it just shows that the world's being led in the wrong direction, right? Young people are being severely oppressed and depressed, and the reason why they're like that is because the stage of life they're in is not natural, right? It's not natural the way that this modern society and world is being ran. Like, everybody literally pretends that, well, on your 18th birthday, you now grow up. Right now, at 18, you're grown, but just like magic, 3 months ago, you were not. It's like, okay, that makes no logical sense. Like, how the hell do you conclude that? So you're gonna tell me that these dudes out here that are 16, who are like 6 foot tall, some of them have, fully grown facial hair, so they're not yet a man? Like how does that make any sense? Or women out here, you know, um, that look sexually attractive, but just because they're, 5 months under 18, that means they're not a woman yet? Like, how does that logically make sense? It's totally just stupid. That's why I did a video recently. I entitled it The Cult of 18, right? The Cult of 18. Because believing that you're an adult at 18 is just a modern day cult that people believe. Everyone believes it. Everybody will swear by it. But once you start asking why, you will be brutally attacked. You will be verbally and brutally attacked. Hell, you'll be sent death threats even by just asking a question about the topic. That's how deep the brainwashing and ignorance goes. Just by asking a question, right? Not that you're doing anything, but just by asking a question, you can get brutally beaten and attacked. Again, it just shows how brainwashed the modern world is. Again, people here today, in this modern 21st century, like say for instance, like there's a companion in truth and seeking the truth, I should say, a brother out there that goes by the name of, I believe his name is Miles. He sent me a Gmail after watching my video, and among the great things he mentioned, he was like, yeah, there's dudes out here who will tell themselves, they'll see, say a woman on like a TV show they like, who might be 16, 17, and they'll tell themselves, well, man, I can't wait till she's 18. It's like, well, hold up a second. On one hand, the dude will tell himself he doesn't find girls under 18 attractive. But then wait a second, but if you're telling yourself that you can't wait till she's 18, doesn't that mean that you find her attractive though? Otherwise, why would you be telling yourself that you can't wait till that girl is 18 if you don't find her attractive? So like, aren't guys literally like just lying to themselves when they pretend that they don't find like a 16 or 17-year-old attractive? Like, aren't you literally lying to yourself then? Then you got other knuckleheads out here, basically counting down, the months, weeks, and days until, little Shirley turns 18. And then just like magic, she's now grown and attractive, but 3 months before she was not. Again, like think about how weird and how corrupt that is, how stupid that is in general. Oh, well, you know, at 18 you're grown, but at 16 you're not. It's like, okay, but you do realize that you really couldn't tell the difference between a 16, 15, 17, 18-year old. Like, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Like when I was 15, I remember I went to a play once that my younger brother was involved in, right? So I went there and I was talking to this one dude who was in the audience with me. We get talking and then he's like, "Oh, well, what one's yours, right? What kid is yours up there?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my younger brother's up there." He was like, "Oh, sorry." Right? So I'm 15, right? And the dude thinks I'm in my mid-20s. And why is that? Because I look fully grown. And why is that? Well, because I biologically am. And, plenty of examples. Like I remember this one time I went to a gas station with my younger brother, and they're like, "Oh, your son's cute." It's like, "Oh, that's my brother." But I was 16. So that's just two examples to show you that, hell, I'm living proof of my statement about how sometimes people who are, 15, 14, 16, 17 years old can look like they're in their mid 20s. In other words, they look fully grown and developed. And why is that? Well, that's because biologically they are grown and developed. This society just doesn't want to believe that because it hurts their feelings. But this is just truth. You can't argue the truth. Like, hey, the truth can hurt your feelings, but the truth is the truth. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or feels about that. Like, say, for instance, there's this other dude out there named Nick from Signs and Wonders. Y'all should know the cat I'm talking about. And, he watched a video I did the Cult of 18, and he left a comment. I'm nearly paraphrasing it because I don't have it in front of me, but I do plan on doing a video response in the future, though, so keep that in mind. But it was like, oh, well, why even talk about this? Gives you guys a bad look. It's just 18. It's like, okay, well, like, how do you conclude that after, watching the video? Well, I don't even believe he watched the video. He just saw the title and just left the comment, I'm thinking. Because if you actually watch the video and listen to what I say, I would expect a response to the statements that I say, not just, some random mumbo jumbo that, some random bullshit that doesn't make any damn sense. You know what I'm saying? So I challenged Nick. I was like, hey, look, Nick, why don't we set up a conversation? Let's have a debate. Let's have a debate about, teen marriage he wanted to talk about. And, when you actually grow up. Let's have a debate about it. Why can't we debate that? Why are you Christians acting like a bunch of, little cowards about this topic? Like, say, for instance, why it's important is because one of the number one attacks that Christians give Islam is about, oh, well, Muhammad had a young wife. It's like, okay, sure, maybe he did. But, I mean, there's young marriage all throughout the Bible, too. So, like, why are we going to ignore the elephant in the room? Why are you guys going to attack Islam when the Bible teaches very similar about this or that topic? Like, I mean, that's what you call a hypocrite. That's not a seeker of truth. That's not a speaker of truth. Hey, ETT got them bars, man. Right? That's not a seeker of truth, or not a teacher of truth. Right? These people are not telling the truth. Oh, look at that. A line upon line, right? Bar upon bar right there, man. Yeah, so go back to what I said. I was like, Nick, hey, look, man, let's have a debate about the topic. Let's come up and debate it. Stop crying like a little bitch in my comment section. Grow up and let's have a conversation about the topic. Like, I mean, I don't see how that's like, something that can't be done. Like, why can't we have a conversation about these controversial topics? And again, it could be about any topic. It could be about, like, say, for instance, somebody might hear us teach that the Bible is against rainbow marriage and be like, you know what, I want to debate you guys about that. And believe it or not, that's not far-fetched, because there literally are knuckleheads out here who believe that the Bible is okay with rainbow marriage. Like, I talked to a knucklehead a couple weeks ago who was telling me, well, yeah, rainbow marriage, Jesus can be found in rainbow marriage. As long as they truly believe, Jesus can be found within it. It's like, wow, it's totally ridiculous what these people believe. Yeah, in conclusion on that, I offered Mr. Nick the chance to come up. Now, to be fair, I will be fair towards him, though. While I have been waiting almost 2 months to have the discussion, he did say the other day that there was a flood in his area, so they're trying to get that worked out. I was like, okay, cool. So take your time, Nick. If you need a month or two to get situated, I understand. But in fairness towards me, you could have took me up on my offer in the first week when I offered you, not put it off for multiple months. But hey, it's okay. We can arrange a debate next year sometime, and we can go from there. I understand what's going on due to the flood circumstance, so get that situated, man, and we can work out a discussion in the future. Oh, and by the way, Nick, if you're listening, tell Neo to stop by my stream sometime. Let's have that debate about if God makes evil or not. Don't think I forgot about that, right? I was trying to have a debate with this dude, Nick. I mean, not Nick, excuse me, Neo, which is friends with Nick. And we had one discussion, I believe it was about, like, the Trinity and, the law and stuff like that. But then we wanted to come back and do a discussion about, if God creates good and evil or not. I don't think I forgot about that. So send Neo my way whenever you get a chance to talk to him, and I'll take him up on that conversation. Yeah, Rich said, yeah, man, I get terminated yearly. I'm not even shocked anymore. Yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, I myself, speaking for myself, I lost probably like 4 or 5 channels over the year. Yeah, probably about 5 channels over the years. So that's why I tell people to be careful with what you upload. Like the one brother up there, what was it? What was the brother? Lion of Judah, right? He's like, oh, I got my channel banned. It's like, yeah, man. I mean, I see you put up, some controversial videos. If you want to talk about the controversial stuff, you can, but you got to use like coded language. Like, say, for instance, if I talk about 2020, I might talk about, juicy juice or, a yab. You know what I'm talking about. But I got to use that coded language because the algorithm, doesn't like, the actual words. Said the anti-ish attack in the Labor government is blaming the guns. Yeah, yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard about that. I believe that happened. It was either, I believe it was yesterday, right? I believe that happened yesterday. Yeah, so in every circumstance, whenever there's an attack or some type of situation that happens, the first thing is, well, we got to go after the gun. Like, say, for instance, I believe, like, what, maybe 3 years ago, there was that Rob elementary school incident. You can look that up. I can't really go into detail here, but literally the first day that happened, they're like, oh, well, we got to immediately overnight, um, raise the legal buying firearms age from like 18 to 21 overnight. And then literally overnight, they raised it. It's like, okay, but sure, like, what does that accomplish, though? But what the hell did that accomplish just because some knucklehead went and did this action over there? Like, so now everybody has to be punished with not having some type of firearm just because some knucklehead acted out? And even if you do ban for, like, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, oh, well, now you can't own it. It's like, okay, what about the, 30 million who previously do have the firearm before you now ban and say they can't have it? So, like, do all of them now got to, like, hand it in now because you just decided that they can't have it? Or, like what the hell is the logic behind that? Also, another thing that should be mentioned in regards with the cult of 18 is, or just remember how, like, 7, 8, 9 years ago, everybody believed that it was perfectly moral and okay to, buy tobacco and, cigarettes and, stuff like that when you're 18. Oh, if you're 17, you better not think of it. But if you're 18, oh, it's all fine. But then, of course, just like magic in 2019, when Trump changed the law on it, now you have to be 21, and everybody's mind magically morphed and changed overnight. Oh, well, now if you're 18 and try to buy tobacco, oh, well, you can't do that. You ain't old enough to do that. You can't do that. Okay, but wait, but 8 years ago you could. So you see how everybody's mind literally just morphs and changes? And all these convenience stores, they all went along with it, right? They all just went along with it, like, with no questions asked, right? Like, literally, you go back to, like, anybody remember that you go into the gas stations or convenience stores, they'll have the sign on the door, oh, no under 18 can buy tobacco. Then literally, like, a few days later, they just post over it with a new description and say, oh, well, no under 21 can have it. And then if you actually were like 19 or 20 and went in to buy like a, cigar pack or, a vape or something, they'll be like, oh, sorry, rules changed. It's like, okay, so last month I could have bought it without a problem, but just like magic, now today I can't buy it. So you see, everybody's mind just magically morphs and changes because whatever the government just makes up and tells them. And I think that's such an undeniable and valid argument that I provided there, that everybody's mind just changes overnight. It'll align with whatever the government just makes up and says. I think that's undeniable. The point that I just made there is an absolute blow, an absolute knockout to anybody that says otherwise. Everybody was like, oh, yeah, 18's okay. You can at 17, but 18's okay. But then just like magic overnight, now it's not okay anymore at 18 because some politician just wrote a scribble on a piece of paper and just said so. Or some might try to say, well, it was a group of guys. It was, Congress. It's like, okay, but it doesn't change the fact that a couple knuckleheads that probably don't even know the difference between their right and left hand just wrote scribbles on pieces of paper and said, you have to do this or, you'll get punished. Or, you can't do this thing over there. You can't do this other thing. Over here, you can do this one thing, but over there, you can't do this other thing. Like a great example, in some states you can't collect rainwater, in other states you can collect rainwater, just for an example. I just find that so retarded and stupid how everybody just magically morphs and change their moral values and beliefs just because the government tells them. Again, this is not a free society. This is not a free nation. This is a brain dead and retarded nation. America is not a free country. If you believe America is a free country, you are a dumbass. You're a knucklehead if you believe that. America is not a free country. You are not free in America. Now, sure, perhaps there are some things that you are able to do in America and Australia that perhaps you can't do in, say, Russia, for an example. But that doesn't mean that America's free. Like these knuckleheads are like, well, look, well, over there, their master, would tax them if they do this or that. But my master tells me I can do this and that. So I'm fine. Whatever my master says. It's like, okay, but you Americans, first of all, Americans brag about following whatever the government tells them. Well, like seriously, look at all these knuckleheads like this dumbass Mr. Jill. Oh, all I know is Jesus. All I know is Jesus. Trump, oh, he's a man of God. Trump's gonna, save America. But all these Christians are like, well, not only Christians, but a lot of these Americans, take pride in being a law-abiding citizen. Oh, I'm a law-abiding citizen. It's like, okay, so aren't you literally admitting that you bow before government and obey their every whim and every demand, like a dumbass fool? So how the hell are you free? But on the other hand, you brag about how obedient you are to a master. Like that is asinine. That is total contradiction. How the hell can you be free? But on the other hand, you brag about obeying your master. This is what Americans think. Think about how stupid this is. So somehow this is a free country, but yet the stupid ass people that live here brag about being servants? I mean, you can't be serious. You cannot be serious. This is absolutely stupid. You know what I'm saying? This is just absolutely stupid what people are believing out here, man. It just doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah, oh, and then this dumbass Nick. Oh, man, like he commented on a video I did, talking about America and how, corrupt she is. He's like, oh, you Hebrew Israelites, can't complain about America. Can't complain about America. Look at the things you can do in America that you can't do other places. All I know is America's free. Say, okay, Nick, have you ever been to America? Oh, no, man, I'm only in Canada. I mean, shit, okay, close enough. Pardon the pun. Close enough. But you've never been here, right? Like, oh, I don't know, man. All I know is America. Say, okay, I mean, maybe those substances that you've been snorting over the years might have, fogged your mental view. Inside joke, inside joke. But in all seriousness, no, right? Like all these knuckleheads know is, oh, America's free. It's like, okay, well, why do you think that? Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, so you call freedom, you call this free, the fact that we have to work our ass off for nothing, barely scrape by, have to eat, pasta 6 days out of the week to afford, the $3,000 rent bill. That's free. You call that freedom? Bullshit. Hell out of here. That's asinine. You're just stupid, man. Absolutely stupid. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Luke said, I was standing outside of the, well, I might have spelled it wrong there, but he said, stood outside of the chairwoman of the Labour Party's office in Newcastle. I was wearing a t-shirt. I think he meant to say she was wearing a t-shirt saying no digital ID and sign of America's. Let me see. Yeah, I think he might have messed his comment up there. But in other terms, you can write that, Luke, if you want me to address it. Right, but good point here. Right, the social media ban is going to do nothing to keep anybody safe. And as I said, it really just pisses me off. It really just pisses me off. Like, say, for instance, like YouTube trying to say, oh, new restrictions, teen mode, right? Kid mode, teen mode, adult mode. It's all to keep you safe. It's like, oh, really? Is it now is it? So you're telling me, so now all of a sudden, due to like maybe what, 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, they came out with a new, verification. If they don't think you're that magic cult 18 number, then you'll have to, give them some type of ID, and face a picture to identify you, right? If they don't think you're 18. But to prove that you are, you got to show them, all this information about you to let you, watch whatever you want on YouTube. Right. Oh, really? So YouTube, now all of a sudden, magically, you're now concerned about everyone's safety. But for 20 years that you existed for, you didn't care, though? That seems awfully fishy to me. It's almost as if there's an agenda going on. And hopefully you can see the sarcasm in my voice, because there is an agenda going on. Yeah, Alfred, you're incorrect on that. You're totally wrong about what you're saying there, my friend. I'd recommend that you should look into what you're saying. You're totally wrong with what you're saying there. Hell, maybe one day you can call into a live stream and we can have a conversation about that, Alfred. Because you are yet to call into a stream, so perhaps in the future, if you'd like, you can come up here and have a conversation. But yeah, I'd say we're totally on two different sides of the two totally different views on that, my friend. So I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you on that. Yeah, so Luke said I knew a 15-year-old who was mature. Yeah, people can be mature at different ages. Like, say, for instance, there's people out here in their mid-20s who are going around acting like little ass kids, but then there's 15-year-olds out here who are very mature. So to just sit there and pretend that like everybody magically at like one age just becomes mature, that's totally stupid and retarded to believe that. That's not true. That's a lie. Right. Man-made rules, right? Man-made rules. Oh, like a great scripture that comes to mind would be Matthew chapter 15, verse 7-9. It says, these people, they honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain do they worship me, teaching the doctrine and the commandments of men. Right, and that's what most of these camps and groups and churches out here are doing. In vain do they worship the Lord. But instead of teaching God's commandments, they teach the commandments of men. Right? Like the laws of the land are a commandment of men, right? Just a couple of guys wrote scribbles on pieces of paper, tell you have to do this, you can't do that other thing. And all these guys run with that as unquestionable gospel, right? Again, it could be on any topic of conversation. Everybody pretends that whatever these made up rules are now unquestionable gospel. Like, say, for instance, like 10 years ago, everybody was like, oh, yeah, you have to be 18 to smoke. It's absolutely unacceptable to be 17 or 16 and smoke. But just like magic, all of a sudden in 2025, really from 2019 to 25, now all of a sudden you have to be 21. Oh, you can't do it at 19 or 20. Oh, you're not mature enough yet. Maybe 10 years ago, but not anymore. It's like, okay, so like, what changed your mind? Did you rationally come to that conclusion, or are you just repeating what a couple knuckleheads in Washington made up and told your stupid ass? I'd rather believe the latter. Oh, you know what else I find funny? Here's a remarkable statement that I've never heard anybody mention before, but due to my deep intellect, I'll make it here. Bet some of you watching might have to look up that term if you don't know what it means. But yeah, here's the point. So America would tell you can't gamble until you're 21, right? Oh, you can't gamble at 18, 19, or 20. Can't gamble then. But just like magic, though, all of a sudden when you go to a gas station, you can buy lottery cards at 18. And literally on the back of the card, it calls it gambling. Like literally, say for instance, you flip the card over, it says, oh, you got to be 18 to play, and at the bottom will say, if you have a gambling problem, call this number for assistance. So they're literally calling the card gambling. And even if they didn't call it that, by technicality, by literal definition, it is gambling. But the card literally calls it gambling itself. So how the hell does that make any damn sense? So you can buy lottery cards and gamble that way at 18, but you can't go to a casino and, place bids and, and all that shit until you're 21. Okay, like what logic is that? Who the hell came up with such a retarded belief? Another thing I want to mention is everybody will sit there and say, oh, well, if you're 15 or 16, you can't, play lottery cards. Well, first of all, let's just address the elephant in the room. Everybody knows that everybody's buying their relatives, lottery cards for Christmas every year, right? So everybody that's probably like what, 9, 10 and up is playing lottery cards at, the holiday times because they get them as gifts. And then if they win anything, they just have their relative, cash it for them. I mean, we've all done that, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not morally wrong. Doesn't make any damn sense to say that's morally unacceptable or wrong. Totally retarded. But what I wanted to say is, how does it make any damn sense to tell a 16-year-old, well, yeah, you can't buy a game yet. You can't buy a game, aka the lottery ticket at the gas station, but you can drive a few thousand-pound metal machine down the road that can literally mow down multiple different people in a matter of seconds. You can do that. We can trust you as a society to drive this machine that can kill multiple different people if you make a mistake. But at the same time, you are not yet mature enough to buy a $5 scratch off, though. That is retarded and stupid. I'll give you a bonus example. They'll tell you, oh, you can't see a rated R movie till you're 17. Oh, you can't go see it. Sure, you can drive yourself there when you're 16. You might get into an accident, or kill multiple people as you drive there. But you're not really, mature enough to watch a movie yet. Wow, that is just so retarded and stupid. And let's once again address the elephant in the room. And that this time being the fact that everybody knows that everybody starts watching rated R movies when you're like, what, 10, 11, 12 years old. Like, let's just address the elephant in the room here, right? So it's not like, they're not already watching the shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and stuff that I'm saying, nobody else really has a pair of balls to address the things that I'm saying. I'm like one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm one of those rare exceptions that's going to expose America, aka Mystery Babylon the Great, for her corruption and her lies. I'm one of the rare gems, if you will, that's going to sit here and boldly condemn the wicked for their corruption and iniquity. There's not many people out there who will do it. Not many people have the balls to do it, man. Say, hey, look, if God chose me to be one of that, rare exceptions, then hey, it is my duty to expose corruption. Whether we're talking about exposing Australia for their corruption, exposing, Russia, exposing the U.S. government, America, Mystery Babylon, hell, Israel, right? The rats over there, so on and so forth. As men of God, this is our duty to expose the corruption and, of course, to uplift Christ, Yahushai, to lift him up on high, and establish his moral values and standards. That's why when people come to us, we give them what the word of God says. Like, say, for instance, somebody might ask, hey, man, what do you think about, this tattoo? You think this would look good if I get this one? I'll tell the man, hey, look, man, at the end of the day, you can decide what you want. But I would tell you not to get any of those. Why? Because that goes against the, laws and commandments in the scriptures. So if you were concerned about following it, then, you would not get that. You would decide, okay, well, even though I personally might want this, it goes against what the scriptures say, so I'm not going to do it. Sometimes this is what you have to do. You have to put yourself down in order to follow what the text says. Like, I'll give you a great example. Like, I remember years and years ago, I used to eat those Jack Link's beef jerkies. Them Slim Jims you see at the store? Man, that used to be my favorite snack. And then I found out that they were made with pork, like 90% of them. 10% of them are not, but 90% of them are. I was like, okay, well, I got to cut it out then. Even though I enjoy those as my favorite snack, I have to cut it out. I can't eat those because it goes against the law. So that's an example of, things you might have to cut out of your life if it goes against what the scriptures say. And say, for instance, the other week I saw a great deal on them at the store. They were like literally 50 cents a stick, because they were expiring in 2 days, or so-called expiring, that is, because they're really good for probably like a year or two afterwards. But they wanted to get rid of them to restock, right? So they were like 50 cents each. It's like, damn, 50 cents. I mean, hell, if I could have ate them, I would have grabbed the whole stock, but I wouldn't. I can't eat them, so I wouldn't get them. You know what I'm saying? But hell, I gotta pass them, every time I go to the store. And I won't lie, right? I get tempted when I see those, but I got to. I can't have that because that's what the scriptures teach. You can't have the pork. So that's just an example from my life of something I enjoyed, but I had to decline due to going against the scriptures. All right, here, he clarified his statement. Thank you very much, Luke. He said, I stood outside of the chairwoman of the Labour Party's office. She is the chairwoman of the Labour Party of Australia. I was wearing a T-shirt that says no digital ID with a sign. Okay. The sign that I was holding was a picture of a camera in front of a Parliament House of Australia. Yo, how's it going, Jay? How you doing, my friend? Said Labor and Liberal are two sides of the same coin. One national party is known as the control. There in candidates via current affair, the Greens Party is anti-Christian and pro-woke. Okay. Yo, how you doing with this one guy? Oh boy, SpeakeaZy said, is there a link to join? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think I was planning on doing a open panel tonight. SpeakeaZy, that's that cat I talked to a couple months ago that was saying, oh, well, America's, pretty good, having the view that, we shouldn't marry or, have children today is, like, going against the Bible or something like that. I remember you, man. I remember you. I mean, hey, SpeakeaZy, you'll definitely be welcome to hop on if I do like a, like an open panel stream or something. Yeah, I wouldn't have any problem with that. When I do open panel streams, the invite's open to anybody to hop on, even that knucklehead Perry Green. Which I seen that Jamie right babble off. He had Perry on yesterday. I was like, you know, I would have hopped on, but I would have hopped on there. Okay, hold on. SpeakeaZy. I'll give you 15 minutes. Here's a link to come hop up on stage. You get 15 minutes. And I'm saying that before you hop on here, just so you're aware beforehand. So I was gonna hop on there, but some circumstance happened yesterday, so I wasn't able to hop on during the hour they were live. So unfortunately, I missed out on that conversation. But yeah, I called up with Babel on earlier, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. I went on with him, for a little bit, very little conversation. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad either. All right, so SpeakeaZy. I drop a link for you. I'll give you 15 minutes. Give him a minute to hop up here. Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. I didn't
All right.
catch. You said something before I come up here to let me know. I didn't catch it. What was that?
Oh, I said I give you like 15, 20 minutes is what I can give you tonight because I have limited time.
Yeah, no worries. That's understandable.
But yeah,
Yeah,
man,
so
you've been listening in. You said so. So what's on your mind?
yeah. Well, first thing I was just gonna say, what you said at the end there was like kind of close to what I said. It was what I was saying was like if one of your issues was about like how like things are going to shit, aren't you contributing to it by not wanting to like get married and have kids? That's like that was what I was saying because we were having a conversation around that last time.
Right.
Yeah. So like I was gonna what I was gonna bring today, like what I was do you like because I think I remember last time you said you consider yourself a Christian?
By technicality, I could be classified as a Christian because the word Christian means Christ-like. So over here, I teach to be Christ-like. So if you wanted to use technicality, one could classify me as a Christian, technically, yes.
Well, Christian means to be a follower of Christ. Is that what you mean when you say Christ like?
Yeah, I'd say they're
Okay.
both the same thing. Like if you follow Christ, you're going to be Christ-like, right? So basically the same thing. Just worded slightly different, I guess.
Okay. Well, yeah, it doesn't actually mean the same thing, but if you're meaning the same thing by it, I can accept that. Um,
Yeah, I'd say it's the same thing, but from just curious from your perspective, what would you classify both of them as being like? What's the difference between both of those terms from your perspective?
to be Christ-like and follower of Christ.
Yeah, like what's the difference between those two, would you say?
Well, okay, so to be a follower of Christ would be a someone who follows at the teachings of Jesus Christ, right? Do you agree with that?
Right. Fair enough.
And then Christ-like, right, would be like so okay, so the Christ-like would be that your it would be your moral and spiritual conformity is to Christ's character, right?
Yeah.
So like one is like a follower of Christ would be more defined by like the obedience and allegiance to Christ, where Christ like would be defined by the moral conformity to Christ's character. So you could say they're alike, but they're not identical. There's definitely
Well,
overlap there, but they're not
well,
identical, right?
Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard somebody make the statement and say, like, they'll ask you the question, they'll ask, well, what would Jesus do? Right? Like, say, for instance, if
Mhm.
Jesus was in that situation or this situation, what would Jesus do? Like, what's your thoughts on that term? I've heard heard, I'm sure you've heard, excuse me, people use that term. What would you think they mean by saying that?
Yeah, they're just simply asking, what is the Christian thing to do in this situation?
Okay, fair enough. I agree. But yeah, from my perspective, being a follower of Christ and living Christ-like, it's basically the same thing. Like if you follow what Christ said, you'd be living by his words that you read in the Bible. But if you are Christ-like, you're also living by the standards that Christ leaves out in the Bible. Would you agree?
Say that last part again. The what?
Yeah, like if you're being Christ-like, that also means you're living and by the standards that Christ leaves in the Bible, correct?
At least trying to. No one's gonna be able to actually do that, right?
Well, maybe not 100% perfect,
Right.
but you could certainly live a Christ-like lifestyle today.
Yeah.
Like, say, for
Yeah. Of course, you're trying to. Of course, yeah. You're in a sense imitating the virtues of Christ and trying to reflect his moral character, right? You're trying to conform yourself into his image, right? Be imitators of me as I am Christ. This is in Corinthians.
right, fair enough, fair enough. But did you have a question that you were going to ask me after asking me if I was a Christian or not?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna, cause like I know you talk about like the end times and stuff like that,
Right.
and I
And
was
just to
gonna,
clarify for the audience, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah, no
some
problem.
people watching might have not seen our last conversation, you know. And again, we don't have to get off onto that topic, but just to
No, no,
clarify for
go
them,
ahead. That's fine.
you know, you don't hold that view. You don't believe we're living in the end times, whereas I do. So that might be a little bit where we part ways, but I'll let you continue what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I would say that what I was gonna ask you is that like, do you not think when you're fixating or preaching the end times, right? Don't you actually think this contradicts with the explicit commands of Christ?
What do you let me understand. So you're asking me if I think that like teaching the end times will contradict what Christ was teaching? But
Yeah, like
what do you mean
the
by that? Could you
commands
like
of
break that
Christ.
down?
So
No,
in
I wouldn't. Yeah, yeah. I'll give a little response and I'll throw it back to you. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it goes against anything that Christ taught because even Christ himself told about the coming end time. So I certainly wouldn't say that it contradicts anything that Christ said.
well, I would say that it does based on the like explicit commands by of Jesus Christ himself, and also it would distort Christian ethics themselves. Sorry. So
Well,
like for one in Acts, it's Acts 1 or yeah, Acts 1 somewhere there. It is not for you to know the times. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's not for you to know the times or the season that the Father has fixed by his own authority, right? So it's saying it's not for us to do this, right? And then in Matthew 24:36, concerning that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only, right? So don't you think that if Christ himself refuses to disclose the timing, preaching certainty or urgency about the end times is claiming knowledge that Christ denied?
no, I'd have to disagree with you. First, I'd like to say I don't think that Christ deliberately didn't say the time because he didn't want to tell according to the text, I view it that he doesn't know, like he literally doesn't know the time that that's going to happen, according to Mark 13, and I believe verse 32. But yeah, I mean, we can see other parts in the Gospels where men after Christ's heart, right, apostles, taught to look out for the end times, right? Like I brought this up to you last time, so I wouldn't say that it's going against what Christ taught. And by the way, while
Looking
we're
out
sitting here,
is
wait,
not
but let me
preaching
let
it,
me just
though, right?
clarify real quick. Well, let me clarify before you continue. Like, notice, like hell, when I started the stream, I went after these guys saying, "Oh, the rapture could be tomorrow or next week." And it's like, hey, well, the Bible says that nobody knows. So while we know that we're in the season when these things are beginning to happen, going by the signs that are laid out in the Bible, nobody knows how long that's going to be. Nobody knows what month or day or exact year that such and such is going to happen. And anybody saying that they know with a certainty, that person's teaching a lie. Like yours.
But aren't you saying that with certainty that we are in the end times?
I would say that it certainly seems that we are going off of everything that we see in the text. Yes.
Right. So then you're kind of placing yourself above like apostolic authority.
No, I'd have to disagree with you on that perspective. And by the way, just let me ask you
Wait,
this:
if
Did you
Christ
think
forbids the knowledge of the end times, preaching it is direct
what
disobedience.
do you mean? Well, hold up a second. What do you mean that Christ forbids the teaching of the end times? Well, what do you mean by that?
Forbids the knowledge of it. Concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only.
Oh, but
So
speak easy.
that's
What is
Christ
that day?
refusing to disclose the timing.
No, sir. That's talking about nobody knows the day he's going to return. So that text is not talking about the day that
What do you mean
the
by the end times?
well, let me clarify what you brought up first. That text is
Wait,
not
don't you
talking
mean
about
Jesus is returning in the end times?
he's returning in a day in the end times, but the end times is
Okay,
not one
so we're
day.
talking about the same thing.
No, no, you're going a little bit too quick here through these verses. What I'm saying is that there's a season of the end times. There's a season where these bad things are going to happen. But the day that Christ comes back is one day, right? One event on one
And it
day.
is not
The
in
text,
Acts
well,
1:7. It is not for you to know the times or seasons that the Father has fixed by his own authority. This is
right.
Jesus saying this. This is Christ's own words. It's not for you to know the times or seasons.
Right, but understand this, speakeasy. We as humans, we don't know with a certainty when these things are going to happen. We're going by the signs that are laid out in the text, which, by the way, should be a great point. Is it true or false that Christ talked about watching out for these signs? And he said in Matthew 24 that when you see these things take place, then you should know that it is near, even at the doors, when you see these things begin to take place. So would you agree, going by the context that is Christ told the readers of the verse to be on watch for these things? Would you agree?
Well, I wouldn't be so when Christ talks about the signs, right? He acknowledged the signs would exist, right? You will hear wars and rumors of wars. See that, but see that you are not alarmed, and then all these are the beginning of the birth pains, things like this. So, like, yes, signs are real, but he actually explicitly warns you about over interpreting signs you see. See that no one leads you astray. The one who endures to the end will be saved. Right? These are signs, right? Not countdowns you're talking about. So the preaching of the end time is a direct disobedience of Christ's own words, right? It's he forbids using the signs to declare the timing, right? Concerning that day and hour, no one knows. It is not for you to know
Okay,
times or
so so
seasons.
so I'm going to ask you again from our last conversation. Would you say that Peter was in violation of this? Because what is that? First, what is it? First Peter, Second Peter 3:10. It says deliberately looking for and hastening unto the day of the coming of the Lord. So was Peter in violation going against Christ because he said that they're looking for and hastening unto that day? Well,
Yeah,
what's your
he,
thoughts
he
on that?
he's preaching about being ready and repenting, not timing it and counting
Yeah, but
down until
okay, but here's
right.
the thing that I
So
don't think you're
he didn't he didn't contradict by preaching urgency,
okay.
right?
But speak easy. Here's something that needs to be addressed though. You keep mentioning timing. When have I ever put a time limit on it? Like say for instance, you'll
What you
never see
didn't
it.
say there's a
Wait,
time limit, but saying that we are in the end times is preaching the season of the end times. So this is a direct disobedience of Christ's own words.
no, I have to disagree with you on that. Like, say, for instance, people out there putting exact dates and numbers, we could say they're in violation of it because it tells us that nobody would know the, day and hour. But to sit there and tell somebody that they're wrong for looking at the signs that Christ warned that would be taking place in the last times and seeing certain prophecies that are in the revelation starting to unfold, any wise person would say, okay, well, yeah, it certainly seems like we're in the season that this was talking about when this was written, centuries ago. It was written for a certain time in history when these things would take place. And we're starting to see those things
You're
unfold today.
interpreting
So
them by yourself first off, so you're putting yourself above the apostolic authority, right? And that you're interpreting these signs yourself, plus you're preaching them, right? Even if you remove that you're saying there's a date of the exact time, right? It's still
no,
it
I
was
didn't
still
I didn't say there was
disobedient
a
for
date.
you to assert
But
that
sir, what
it's
when
imminent, right?
Hey,
You're
hey, take a
saying
chill
that
pill real quick, easy. When did I say there's a date? You keep saying that I'm saying there's a date.
wait,
Define to me where I'm
wait,
saying there's
that's
a
not
date.
what I just said. I said removing the date doesn't remove the fact that you're still asserting that the proximity, right? Which again, Christ forbade you to do this.
No, I think that you just have a misunderstanding of the text. Like, let me give you an example, right?
Oh,
Like, if you were
okay.
to
So if we
wait,
both
wait, wait.
disagree on the
I'm gonna
text,
give
who do
you
we go
wait,
to
wait.
figure it out?
We can look at it, but do keep in mind you are on borrowed time here because I told you there's a time limit. So if you'd like
No,
to do that,
I'm
you
not
can. But
asking to look at it. I'm saying if me and you are interpreting it differently, who do we go to make sure who has the correct interpretation?
who would you say we go to?
I would say we would go to the fathers with the apostolic succession. I would
Where's
say we
that?
would go to the Orthodox Church and ask them.
Like, say, for instance, there's an Orthodox church up the street. If I
Mm,
go up to them and ask them the understanding of that verse, would that be the correct thing? Should I like again?
yes.
It could be any verse in general. Like I don't know. Let's say like Leviticus 20 verse 15. If I go up and ask them what the understanding of that verse is, should I take that without question if I go to that particular sect that you mentioned?
Yes, if
Because
you
you
go to
said
the
they're
Orthodox
the authority,
Church,
right?
yes. Eastern
Okay.
Orthodox.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
If
have
you
to
have one up
definitely
the road,
disagree. Yeah, yeah. There's one probably about 2 miles from here.
okay. So I bet you if you were to ask him, the father there, I bet you you'd have the answer I gave you.
Okay. Well, like, why should I accept them over, like, say, for instance, like the Baptist Church or the Seventh Day Adventist Church? Why should I accept this particular sect?
What I
Just so
just
I
said
know.
is because of the apostolic succession, right? It leads back to the actual apostles of Jesus. So this is like how you know, right?
Right, but
That
don't
you
they
have
say
the
that about
correct
the Catholic Church too?
interpretations. Sorry.
But I'm saying, don't they claim that the Catholic Church is as well?
But you notice how the Catholic agree with everything the Eastern Orthodox say, but the Eastern Orthodox don't agree with everything about the Catholic. Doesn't that show you something?
Uh,
Where in the Bible, like, where in the Bible is there supposed to be a pope, bro? In
yeah,
golden
it's
fucking
not.
cities,
There's
dog.
not. I didn't say there's supposed to be a pope over there. I'd say that all of these denominations are teaching incorrectly. But I mean, that would be a debate for another time. But yeah, man, I mean, I think any studious person, any person who reads the Bible and reads what Christ says, if you look at the world in the 21st century, it's not a long jump, not a long leap of logic to connect the dots to see that it certainly seems to be that we're living in the times that the Bible foretold. I mean, again, we can respectfully disagree, but I think any honest and studious person could be able to come to that conclusion based on all of the signs around us that we see. And I'm going to ask you again, would you say that Peter was wrong because he told us to look for and hastening unto the day that Christ comes? But you're saying that we shouldn't. So was Peter wrong? What do you guys say?
Yeah. Again, you're talking about readiness. Peter still explicitly denied knowing the timing. Right? The Lord is not slow to fulfill its promise, as some count slowness. Right? He's literally saying that you can't actually. He even says, "With the Lord, one day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day."
Right, right. But real quick, SpeakeaZy, I was this is what I wanted to mention. I forgot. Like, if you would have asked me, 10 years ago, if I thought we were living in end times, I'd be like, yeah, we're living in the end times. So I would have believed the same thing, 10 or 15 years ago and gave you the same answer. So I
So
don't
you just
claim
think
I
it's
wait,
always
wait,
the
wait.
end times?
Just take a chill pill real quick. I wasn't done speaking. I was saying
Well, you
that
interrupted me to start speaking, so all right.
Whatever. So I was gonna say before I got interrupted that if you asked me 10 or 15 years ago for end the end times, I'll tell you, yeah, I believe we're at end times. Do I believe that today? Yeah, I believe it. But I don't claim to know a timeline. And that's where we're getting caught up on because you make it seem like that we're giving a timeline by saying that we're living in the end times.
It doesn't matter if you're not. You're saying you're giving a proximity, right? You're still giving a proximity. That's the whole problem here, right? And it's going against the teachings of Jesus, right? That was my
No,
whole point.
I don't see like say for example, right? Like one I'll bring up is the
Mm.
Bible gives us foreknowledge about there's going to come a time in history in Revelation 13:16 that they're going to cause everybody to receive a mark in the hand in order to make transactions. So let's say, just to give a hypothetical example, that say 2 years from now there's a digital ID or some type of imprint in the hand where you're able to make transactions and people start getting it. Wouldn't that seem to line up with what Christ warned us about in the Revelation? So, like,
Yeah, can I
why would
ask
it
you
not be
something?
wise to? Sure,
Do you
sure, go ahead.
remember? Do you remember in the Schnazi times when all
Right,
the people were getting tattooed? Remember
I've
that?
heard of it. Yeah,
Oh, that could have been looked at the exact same thing, couldn't it?
yeah, I'm sure people probably did look
Oh,
at that, but the problem is that doesn't fit
wow.
every characteristic
You're
the text
right.
gives.
People
And
did.
matter of
People
fact,
did look at it like that.
let me
That's
educate
right.
you.
My
Let
point
me
is
educate you a
you
little bit.
don't have the authority to make these interpretations, right?
Neither do you, my
And it
friend. Let
seems
me
like a very
educate.
nihilistic way to live.
Yo, Yeezy, can you put a zipper on your mouth for 5 seconds? I'd appreciate it.
Oh, that was a
Now,
good one, though.
yeah, yeah, hell, I got them lines, man. I got them
Yeah, you
lines.
got good lines. You
You
need to
got that
focus on
Christmas
your
tree in the
beard
background.
more than your
That's a nice
lines,
green
bro.
screen you got in the background, man. How much you pay for that? $60?
Why don't you go on camera while you talk shit?
I mean, well, you can see me on video multiple times. You just gotta watch.
What's
Yeah,
wrong, bro?
now to you yapping. Now I
People
forgot what
talk
I was
about
gonna
looks
bring up.
when they're not
Oh
on
yeah,
camera.
yeah.
It's
I
pretty
was gonna
weak,
say,
bro. Just
I was
saying.
gonna say, let me educate you for a
Just
moment. Did
saying.
you know that some people
You have to
would
be
say
educated to
that the mark
educate
happened
people.
back in the Romans time with the denarius? You know about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. So what point are you bringing up then?
The point is, you could overinterpret it or
Right.
overinterpret mad things, right? People think that
Yeah.
Nostradamus predicted the fucking 9/11 because he said some shit about some fucking iron birds. Okay, you
Right.
understand? You're what you're doing here is just making connections out of nothing, right? And you've put
Well, again, I
yourself
wouldn't
as a
say this
source
out
of
of
evil.
nothing.
See how
I
you
think
talk
there's
in the middle of my sentence every time, and then you cry about getting
well,
interrupted?
I don't mind letting you
Yeah,
talk, but you got to make sense of what you're saying instead of that
yeah.
sounding
It's
like an idiot.
English, bro. It's real
Go
easy
ahead.
to
I'll be
understand.
quiet. Go ahead and talk. I'll give you 2 minutes
Yes,
unedited.
yes.
Go ahead.
Take the PPs out of your ears, put them in your mouth for a second, and shut up. All right.
Yeah.
So
Why are you
the
on here
whole thing
making
is
gay jokes? Or why
you
are
put
you on a
yourself.
Christian stream making gay jokes, dude?
Why am I on?
This is not very Christ-like
Why
of
am I?
you.
Why am
I
I?
thought you
You're
were a
this is a
Christian.
Christian stream. Is that what you just said?
Are you trying to hide something, bro? Why are you defending
Did you just
Christ,
say
but
this
yet
is
up
a
here
Christian
making jokes
stream?
about being gay?
Hold
I
up.
mean,
You tried to make
that's
fun of
not
me just a
Christ-like,
minute
bro.
ago, and now you're mad about a gay joke?
I mean, you can say whatever
And
you
what do you
want,
mean
but all I'm
Christ-like?
saying, it shows what you're imagining
Whoa,
in your
what do you
mind,
mean
my boy.
Christ-like? What do you call it when Jesus called people vipers? What do you call that? Or dogs? What do you think that was? Huh?
What point
Ah,
you got it?
ah. You think you you
You
think
don't have you
Jesus
don't
approved of men
you.
laying with other
Oh my
men?
God, this is
Is that what you
crazy, man.
think? Is that what you think?
I'll be
You're
quiet and let you
Christian?
talk. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, now you're gonna let me talk?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, got you. That's funny. It's crazy that you just said, like, pulled the whole it's not very Christ-like, like, but nothing to back that up. Um,
Well, I mean, I could cut you to shreds, but I'll show you some mercy on here. Go ahead.
oh, yeah. What do you mean by cut me to shreds? Like, roast me?
Boy, oh boy,
Bro, you look
you'll
like
get
you
cut with
don't
them
cut your
scriptures.
beard
You'll
to
get cut with
shreds,
them
bro. Don't
scriptures,
worry
man.
about cutting nobody to shreds. Just focus on that lawnmower you fought with look at that beard, bro. Come on, relax. You know how to do a roast
Oh
with
boy.
me, dog. Come on.
I mean, first of all, do you shave, by the way? Or are you just getting lineups and shit?
I do that myself, bro.
Yeah, but the Bible tells us we're not supposed to be shaving our facial hair, right?
Oh, is that right? Where does it say that?
That's Leviticus, was that Leviticus 19, 27? Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with the text, right?
Leviticus 19:27. Read it for us.
I mean, I don't have it in front of me here, but I gave the verse. Anybody can pull it up. It tells you that you're not supposed to, trim your facial hair. You can check that out in your free time. But go ahead, speak easy. I'll give you the floor.
Why would you bring it
Make
up
your
if you
point.
didn't know it?
I'm sorry. Say that again. You said why
Do
don't what?
you do you un are you thinking that, like, Christians are Jews?
Well, the Bible. I'd say the Bible is written for the Jews. So again, we're on two totally different
That what
sides of
you're
the.
oh, you're one of those guys. Okay, I got it. That
But
makes a
yo,
little more sense.
but speak easy. Stop wasting my time. If you have a point, I'm giving
I'm
you an
wasting
opportunity
your
to make
time.
your
I was
point.
trying to make a point. You got into the roast shit, and then you got mad that I
Yeah, I told you I'd be quiet. Tell you what, to show you politeness, I'll
just
be
matched
quiet.
your
I'll
energy.
be
That's
quiet
all
and
I
let you
did,
speak.
dude.
Go ahead. Like
All I
serious.
did was match your energy. My main point was, like, again, it's again directly um being disobedient to Christ when you're preaching about we're in the end times, right? And it's just like an overall really like nihilistic way to live, don't you think?
No, I would disagree with you.
No?
I'd
It
say
doesn't drive you to
a
nihilism?
true Christian would be living in accordance with what Christ says.
It
However, I
doesn't
would
drive you
say
to nihilism though?
no,
No? Didn't
no,
you say
I
that
disagree.
last time we talked when you said like, "Oh, we're in the end times anyway, so I'm just going to do whatever the hell pleases me." Didn't you say that last time
Yeah,
we
but how is that
what
a
is
bad thing though?
do, do you not wait, do you not consider
You're
that
you're you're not
nihilism?
you're not making any damn sense of what you're saying. Like, say for
Do you
instance, if
not
you know,
consider that nihilism?
I wouldn't use the term no. If, in your puny mind, if you want to call it that, you're welcome to, but I wouldn't
What
use
is
that term
nihilism?
no. Was nihilism? Well, one of the perspectives is the view that well, everything is bad, so I may as well, not really care about anything. That's one of the
Yeah, the belief that
perspectives.
life is meaningless.
Yeah, and once again, I didn't say that. I didn't say that life
You
was
literally
meaningless.
said that last
So
time we talked. Oh my god.
now, SpeakeaZy, I don't want to say you are a liar, but I rewatched our conversation 2 times, and I did not say that.
Wow,
So
bro.
you
Did
can
you really?
repent of your statement, or
Are
I'll
you
call you a
okay?
liar.
Did I
Again,
hurt your
hey, as I
feelings
said,
real
man,
bad?
I'm showing you mercy. I'm showing your ass mercy on here because you just lied, man.
Mercy for
So,
what, bro?
'cause you're a liar, man.
Oh yeah, big time liar.
Hey, every dog has his day. Every dog has his day, man. But yo, I see you're getting ready to celebrate Christmas soon, man. What's your plans for over the holidays over here?
Nobody. I mean, are you not getting ready to celebrate Christmas
I
soon?
mean, hey, man, Jeremiah 10 verse 1, right? I don't go by that. I don't believe it. Like, say for instance, if I have my own place, I wouldn't be setting up any of that Christmas shit, man. That's what I
Got it.
teach.
So
What's
you
your
have
what's your thoughts on
family to
Jeremiah?
celebrate Christmas with. Like, don't put that on me, bro.
No, but I'm just curious because you're coming up here claiming Christ and all this, but you got a tree in the background.
Claiming
But it
Christ.
says in Jeremiah that you're not supposed to put a tree up in your house. Jeremiah chapter 10.
Oh my gosh.
So I was just curious as to see what you thought about that.
Help this guy here, please.
If anyone needs to
Help this
help, you
guy.
need to help, my friend. But
Do
maybe
you
both
not do you
financially
not know the
and
difference? Like, do you
physically.
not know why Jesus came? Do you not know?
I mean, I believe I know, but you can inform me in the
Oh
audience
my
why
god.
you view Christ. Yeah, matter of fact, why do you think Christ came?
This
Inform
guy's
me in the
crazy,
audience.
bro. I think this guy's actually crazy. Like, do you think everyone's supposed to be doing Jewish shit? Is that what you think?
No.
Then why you keep telling me about Jewish laws, bro?
Knucklehead, the Bible was written for
Your
the
your
Israelites. So all the
mother's
laws in there
a
are
knucklehead,
for
dog.
Israel.
Relax all that shit.
But here's the kicker though. This is the annihilation here. This is the Mortal Kombat KO right here. If you claim to believe in the
Fatality.
Bible and follow the Bible, you should be living in accordance with those laws. So if you claim you know
I'm doing my
God,
best
then why are
to.
you not living by
I
the
am
law?
doing my best.
So,
What
wait,
which
so if
ones
you're
are you
doing your
being
best,
gotta
then
be
why
more
are you talking
specific?
shit
Which
about me
ones am
keeping
I
the
not
law?
living to? Which ones am I not
Wait,
living
wait. I'll get to that, but why are you talking shit about me teaching to keep the law if you just claim that you're trying to keep it the best you can? So why are you talking down on me for telling people to keep it? Mic drop.
Yeah, mic drops don't work when you say it
Hey,
out.
look. Hey, look. I just
Is
dropped the
that
mic
like
on mic.
that
Inside joke.
that was actually like pretty sad what you just did. Cringy, dude.
I mean, hey, whatever, man. The audience is saying that you're under the influence of
The
something. Do you
three
want you want
fucking
to
people in
respond?
your
Do you want
chat
to
are
respond to
saying that
them or
I'm
not?
under the influence.
Yeah, so someone down there. Matt, let me see if I can
Lord,
find the
oh
comment.
no.
What do
Sorry,
you got to
man. I
say
didn't
to
want
that?
your 5 viewers to ruin my life, bro.
What's your channel, by the way? Do you got a channel, or are you just a
Yeah,
knucklehead calling into live streams every
I
night?
have a channel, yeah.
Okay, and what's your channel name for the audience?
Oh, it's SpeakeaZy, bro. It's the same as my name, SpeakeaZy.
Okay, but let me guess though, if do you do live streams over there?
Yeah, we're live right now.
Oh, you're live right now.
Mm.
All right, well, hey, hi to the audience over there.
Yeah, go on
That's a
cam,
news
wave to
flash
the
to me.
audience. Go on cam, wave to the audience. They want to see
I
the
mean,
roast master, bro.
they want to see what?
They want to see the roast master, bro.
Nah, I think you're nah. I mean, but look at this dude though. Look at this guy. Do you really think it's appropriate, man, for you to be a Christian and go on other Christian panels and make a gay jokes?
This
Like,
isn't a
like
Christian channel.
I'm
First
gonna
off,
I'm gonna flip the
you're a
coin here and
fake
say, what
fucking
would
Christian.
Jesus do? What would
Right?
Jesus do in this
You're a fake
situation, Speak
Christian, and
Easy?
what Jesus would do was braid a whip and beat you with it, flip your fucking table, and tell you to stop saying the shit you're saying. That's what Jesus would do, my guy.
Oh,
Huh?
really?
Tell me
Oh
about you.
man,
This is come to another Christian channel. This is don't consider yourself a Christian channel. That's crazy talk, bro. You ain't a preacher.
really? I
You don't
mean,
have no authority in Christianity, and half the shit you said tonight was blasphemous. Blasphemous. So I don't know what you're talking about.
and that's coming from a knucklehead that looks like CM Punk from WWE.
Good
And
one,
you
bro.
believe or not, and living in the
Bro, you
end
look like
time.
CM Punk from WWE, and you look like a
Oh, right.
Tory doughboy rolled in puke.
I mean, hey, whatever, man, whatever. Yo, with your unemployed life that you're living
My
on
unemployed
SSI,
life. I'm getting
do
paid
you have
right now.
what
I'm getting paid
what do
right now.
you? Okay, you've been listening to the conversation beforehand. What did you have to come up here and say? Anything new, or just repeating the same nonsense that you told me last time? Do you have anything new to bring to the table, or are you just
Wait, this
trying
was
to?
not what we talked about last time. What we
I'm
talked
pretty
about
sure it
last
is.
time was you talking about how the world's gone to shit and women this and marriage ain't worth it and blah blah blah. And I said, if you are the one preaching all that shit, trying to get other men not to fucking marry women, are you not contributing to this downfall? And you tried to say no.
No, I answered your question and said perhaps we are, but that's not a bad thing. And
Why
matter
isn't
of
it a
fact,
bad thing?
wait, hold 1 second.
If it's
And
not
if
a
you
bad
watch
thing,
the
it's a good thing. So
conversation we
why is it
had,
good?
CM Punk, can you just wait for a second? I said if you listen to our conversation,
Oh boy.
I said that for some men, if they want to go out and get married and have a children, and buy a home, then let them do that if that's what they choose. But that's not the path that most men should be on in the time we're living in.
Why?
And
Why
even
isn't it a
knuckleheads in
path
the
that
wait,
what
hold
is
on.
the
Even
path
knuckleheads
that
in the world
most
that have
men
nothing
should
to
be
do with
on?
the truth would even agree. Like there's
Dude.
multiple
If
channels
you're
I
gonna
watch
say
of
this
regular
isn't the
people.
thing, that means you have what is the thing. So what is the thing they should be on? What is the path men should be on?
Hell, well, I'd say that even just for a second, putting the Bible to the side, the practical path to life today would be to remain single and not have children. That's just a financially smart thing to do in this world we're living in.
Financially
And
smart?
yeah, that's what's smart to do in the world we're
So
living in right now.
so finances equals good and you're Mr. Christ like over here? What are you talking about, bro?
Go
Money's
ahead.
your
I'm
fucking
gonna
god,
ask
dog?
you a question to answer
What would
directly.
Jesus do, my boy? Would Jesus tell you to get money or get a family?
Well, obviously, you before you get a family, you need to be able
What
to
would
take care of
Jesus
that
do?
family.
Would Jesus tell you to get money or get a family?
Well, Jesus would have you first have money to be able to take care of that family. Now, let me educate you
Yeah,
a
so
little
you don't
bit.
wanna
Did
answer, right?
did you know? Well, first of all, you probably don't believe in polygamy, but did you know that the Bible teaches that if you do take
Uh,
another wife, you have to be able to financially support her? So, is it
no,
true or false that the Bible
no,
says that you have to
no,
be able to financially
wrong,
support a wife? Is that true or false,
wrong.
Mr. Teacher of Jesus?
No, no, doesn't tell you you should have more than one wife. You're a liar.
Okay. So you want to go down that path now. So polygamy is a
No,
sin,
you're
yes
just
or no?
looking for any path you can just deviate to. That's what it is. Do you
Boy,
understand?
you
You
are
keep saying,
getting
"Oh, you wanna go down this path. You wanna go down this path." I'm just answering the bullshit you're saying, dude.
yes. So I'm calling you out as not being educated on the topic. Answer the question: is polygamy a sin? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have book, chapter, and verse? First of all, what is sin according to the Bible? Do you know off the top of your head or no?
Dude, do you wanna just, like, get to your point?
We'll just, bro.
Crush
If
it.
you don't know the answer, you can
Ju
just say no.
just
No
give your
reason to
argument for
embarrass
polygamy
yourself.
in the Bible, and I'll crush it. Go ahead.
Okay, according to the Bible, sin is transgression of God's law. First John chapter 3 verse 4, for sin is the transgression of God's law. So for you to argue that polygamy is a sin, you would have to show in God's law where polygamy is not okay, where it's condemned. But I can show you, well, to be fair, since you're the opponent, I'll give you a chance first to show where you would condemn that. Mike's yours.
That's your argument for polygamy? Alright, I'll give you my argument against it. That was hardcore, bro. I
I
don't know.
mean, Knucklehead, I obviously was
I don't
about
know
to
if I'll be able
continue, but I
to.
gave you
I
the
don't know if I'll
opening.
be able to come back
Oh
from that,
boy.
but
Oh
let me
boy.
see if I can give you
Man,
the
this
argument
boy,
back.
he ain't ready for this ass
Okay,
whooping.
so
This
you're just
boy
gonna
is not
talk
ready
over my
with his
answer.
little
That's
gay
good,
jokes and
bro.
shit.
That's
Go
good.
go ahead. Go
Talk
ahead,
over my
CM Punk.
answer, gay boy.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you done talking now? Can I talk?
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Doughboy. So again, polygamy appears in the Bible as tolerated, right? It's a tolerated disorder of fallen humanity. It's never as God's design, it's never as God's command, and it's never ideal in any part of the scripture, right? The scripture consistently portrays it as socially and spiritually destructive, okay? Genesis says, therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Not hold fast to his many wives and become many flesh, moron. Wife, not wives. Okay. Do you understand the difference here? Oh, you have no
All
answer
right.
for that? I can
All
keep
right.
going if
All right.
you like, right?
No,
Hmm.
I'll go ahead and give a response. The knucklehead's given nothing of value here. Now, my argument would be that in the law, the way that we find out what is morally acceptable, what is not morally acceptable in God's word is going to what the law says. And keep in mind, he's reading off a computer. I'm going off of memory here. Shows you who's the more who knows what they're
I'm
talking about
reading,
compared
bro.
to who's just
I'm
repeating
reading,
nonsense we
dog.
see on
How'd
the
you
screen.
know? How'd you
I
know,
don't
bro?
want to put you, I want to show you the respect and not putting you on mute. So maybe you can muzzle your mouth for 5 seconds. I appreciate. Then I'll show you the same respect. If you go to the law, like Leviticus, what is that, 21 verse 10 or 15, speaks about that, if a man does have two wives, then he can't leave the first one. He has to be able to provide for both of them. And then another one, I believe that's Deuteronomy 21:15, talks about if a man has two wives and then has born sons to both of them, he has to give the firstborn son his rightful inheritance above his second-born son. But the point is, the Bible's talking about men having more than one wife in the law. It's not outright saying that this is not permissible and not okay. Just like we see with other practices, the Bible will tell you, "Thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that." But here we see God giving permission for these practices. I'm going to give another bonus example.
Keeps
Um,
talking.
and
Says words.
in 2 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 8, God gave David his master's wives. So if God viewed polygamy as sin, why would he give David multiple wives? Mike Shears.
Okay, you're an idiot. Right? Let me help you out. What you just mentioned, can you read it again really slowly? What's it start with? Deuteronomy. The one you read at first. What's it start with? Read it again slow. Go ahead.
So, well, again, if you pay attention, I'm going off muscle memory, but I believe it says if a man have two
Ah,
wives.
ah, thank you. If a man has two wives, what's that mean, stupid? What's that mean?
Knuckle.
It's talking on
It's
something if it exists already, not saying I approve of this. It's a regulation of a sin. Do you understand?
wait,
So,
wait,
mister,
wait.
I'm
A
reading off
regulation.
everything. I just
Well,
did that for my
hold up a
eyes
second.
closed, right? I just did that with my
Yeah,
eyes
no,
closed.
no, easy.
So,
I'm gonna
just let
totally
me. No, no.
embarrass
Why do
you
you keep interrupting me, dude? And then cry about me interrupting.
because you're a little girl and a knucklehead. So you just said that God's given a regulation about how to commit a sin. Let the audience think about that for a second. This knucklehead CM Punk just said that God has given a guideline about how to commit a sin. That is just so retarded and stupid right there. Shows you that some of these knuckleheads have no business trying to teach the Bible on YouTube. So I'm going to unmute him here and give him a chance to explain what he's saying. He just said that God's given a regulation about how to go about committing a act of sin. Mike's yours, Yeezy. I'll be quiet.
Oh, you done? You done your rambling?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, so all you're doing right now is just talking halfway through my answers and then like doing a bunch of ad homs because you can't actually fucking
I
have an argument.
directly,
See,
and
see
by
what
the
I
way,
mean?
you're the one
I
who's
mean,
getting all
see what I
emotional
mean?
and name calling on
See
here, buddy.
see what I'm saying? I wasn't even, dude, I wasn't even talking a full 10 seconds. Shut your stupid ass up and maybe you'd get a conversation in, right? This whole trying to talk at me and not listening thing. God gave you 2 ears, one mouth, so you can listen twice as much as you talk, right? So now that you're actually shut up at the moment, right? The whole time when you're talking about if he takes another wife, he shall not diminish her food, clothing, blah, 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 blah. This is about damage control. All right. This is protection of vulnerable people, right? This is a containment of the sin that's going on. All right. This is the same logic as in the Bible, it says it's okay for slavery. No, it doesn't, you moron. It was a regulation of a sin that was going on at the fucking time, and it also taught you how to let those slaves go. So this whole thing, what you're doing is you're cherry picking scriptures to fit your narrative, and this is the problem. This is why I said what you're doing is a direct disobedience towards Jesus's commands. Right? Like this whole thing, Jesus says, Moses allowed you to divorce your wives because of the hardness of your hearts. But from the beginning, it was not so. That's what Jesus says. Literally tells you why those laws exist, you moron. Because you're hardened, the hardness of your hearts. Because you're a fucking sinner. That's why. Do you get it now? It wasn't approval and saying you should have multiple wives.
Okay, I'm going to respond now and say, well, first of all, I want everybody to keep in mind, CM Punk said that these regulations are these laws that we read about, like in Deuteronomy 21:15, Exodus 21 10 to 15, about men having more than one wife. Well, these men are actually living in sin, and God is they're giving them guidelines about how to continue to live in that sin, which is totally naive and stupid
You didn't
to,
even
to
listen
hold
to what
that.
I said. Nice try, though.
Knucklehead, I'm going. You see how
If
you're
you
doing
like
that? You just complain
reframe it,
about me
doesn't make
doing
it
it.
what I said, though.
I'm going to just be quiet for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we see in the law that men can have more than one wife.
Mm-hmm.
It is permittable. Now, notice when you read the Exodus account, it talks about how if you do have more than one wife, you can't diminish the old wife's food, remnant, and duty of marriage. Meaning what? If you do take more than one wife,
Meaning it was
you
protecting the
have
vulnerable woman.
you have to be able to provide
Because what
for
was
her
happening,
and
right, is
all her
when women were
needs.
getting older,
Yo,
fertile,
Yeezy.
the men were leaving them. So to protect those women, this was a regulation put on them. Name me one place where in the Mosaic law where it says polygamy is good. Tell me where it says any time that it's good. Tell me.
Sir, the word polygamy is not used in the text. That's
Oh,
what we
it's not
call it today.
okay. Multiple wives, anything. Say, show me where it shows
Okay.
having this is good.
Okay. What I'll give you this example. Jacob had a few wives. Did he or did he not? That was a
I
man
want
of
you to
God.
show me where it says it's good. I don't want a pop quiz right now. I want you to
Okay.
tell me where it
Sir,
shows you
listen.
in the
What you're
Bible
asking,
that having two wives or more.
what you're asking me
I
is to
keep
show you.
fucking muting.
Hey, knucklehead. I'm going to answer your question, but when I go to talk, you will keep
You
talking. But then,
talk
of
in the
course, you
middle of
can.
my sentences, bro.
Okay, I'm. Oh man, this is crazy. So I showed an example for the audience. I showed two examples where the text talks about if you have two wives, how to go about living with
And
them.
then you're about to
Now, if
bring
the
up somebody
Bible,
who was
now
tricked
if
into having two
yo
wives. So I
Yeezy,
don't know where you
I'm gonna
think you're
give you a
going with
chance.
this. You don't even
Okay,
know what you're
Yeezy, I'm
talking
gonna
about.
knock your socks off. I'm gonna knock your socks off. Did
Oh
Jesus promote
yeah,
sin?
knock the
Did-
socks up, bro.
Yeezy,
Knock the
did
socks
Jesus promote
off.
did Jesus promote sin? Yes or no?
Did Jesus promote sin? What a stupid question, dude.
It's obviously a lineup, but I want you to confirm you agree he did not. Do you agree Jesus did not affirm that it's
Dude.
okay to commit? Okay, I agree he did not affirm that. Now, in Matthew chapter 25, verse 1 on down, Christ gave a parable about the kingdom of heaven being compared to one bridegroom getting 10 wives. At the end of the story, the bridegroom took 5 out of the 10 women as his wives. Obviously, it is a parable, but if polygamy was a sin, why is Christ comparing the kingdom of God unto a sin? Absolute mic drop. Mike's yours.
That was so good. Can you bring it up and read it again?
Knucklehead, do you not have a computer in front of you that you can literally pull up the
I thought
verse?
you were mad about me.
I just quoted it to you. You should, first of all, if you're
Yeah,
a teacher, you
listen,
should
you
be
were just
familiar
mad
off the
about
top
me
of the head
reading the
with what I'm
computer. Now you
talking
want me to
about.
read the computer?
Knucklehead, I just gave you a summary about what the parable is about. You should know this since you're a teacher of Jesus on YouTube, right?
Mm.
Hell out of here. I just gave you the text.
Yeah,
I gave you a
so
summary of it. If you don't know it, say you don't know it. We're not going to laugh at you. Well, maybe the
yeah,
audience
can you
will, but I'll
I
show
want you to
some
read it
respect.
again so you know how stupid you are, dude.
Yes, sir.
This is
When you
the
read
whole
Matthew
point.
chapter 25, you just asked me to talk about it. Matthew 25, starting from the top, Christ gives a parable about the kingdom of heaven, right? The 5 foolish virgins and 5 wise virgins. At the end of the story, the bridegroom gets with 5 out of the 10 women that were ready to go in with him when he arrived. But the moral of the point I'm bringing up is Christ compared the kingdom of God unto a man getting 5 brides, 5 women. Now, if polygamy was a sin, why would Christ compare the kingdom of God unto a sinful practice? Which you agree Christ doesn't promote sin. So now you're in a trick bag. Now you're in a body bag.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Like first off, is it wives or virgins? 10 wives or 10 virgins?
10 virgins, but at the end of the story,
And
he
then they
took
went
them
to
as
meet their
wives.
what?
The bridegroom, obviously
Okay,
their
so
bride,
10
right?
virgins went to become wives, you fucking moron. Do you
Whoa,
understand that?
hold up a
They're
second.
not
Hold on.
married women. First off, the point of the parable, you moron, is to watch, therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour, right? It's about being ready. It's about being faithful. It's about perseverance, right? It's not about fucking sexual ethics. It's not about marriage structure. It's not about any of these. This is the thing. You keep cherry picking shit and you don't even know what these things are about. It's
Yo,
crazy
Yeezy,
to me that
at
you
the end of
even
the
brought
at
that
the
one
end of the
up. That's
parable,
crazy to me.
hold
The
up, hold up.
kingdom
At
of
the end,
heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. Do you understand that? It doesn't say 10 wives went and fucked their one husband. What are you doing?
hit.
What are you
I mean,
doing?
the audience can see that you're acting like a complete nut job on
The
here, man.
audience,
If
dude,
you're
you're
familiar
four
with the,
fucking
if
audience
you're
members.
familiar with the, yo, just chill out for a second, man. You don't have to act like a damn fool. Just chill out. Drink, smoke some of that vape that you're smoking, and just chill out for a second. If you read the parable at the end, 5 of those brides got with the one man. So he took 5 of those women, whatever you call them, virgins, wives, brides, whatever word you throw on there. The point is the one man got with 5 of them. That's literally polygamy. So that's an example where Christ compares the kingdom of heaven unto a polygamous relationship, which you said is sin. So according to your embarrassing logic, Christ is promoting sin. And you don't want to
Again,
acknowledge that.
you're
You got
confusing
crushed.
attendance with
Sorry, man, but
brides.
you got crushed.
You're confusing attendance with brides, and that's all I can say to you,
Attendant?
right?
What the hell do you mean attendance? Is it not true that at the end of the story he got 5 out of 10? Do you not read the Bible? That's literally
Oh my
what the
god,
parable
you're
says.
so
Do you
dumb.
know that or not?
You're
If you
so
don't know, you can just say you don't know. But as someone who's actually read the text, that's what it says. So again, my friend, you can
Was
acknowledge you
marriage
lost the
performed
debate of
alone?
polygamy, or you can
Was
just
marriage
piss off,
performed
man. Your
alone?
choice.
Was marriage performed alone?
Marriage performed alone. No,
Mm,
well, it depends on the circumstance. In some situations it can, and some it is not. Sometimes there's a ceremony involved. But you're
okay.
trying now. Oh, so now you're trying to say these were people at the ceremony, like. But the text says that they were 5 that he got out of the 10. There originally were 10 that came down to meet him, and at the end of the story, he took 5 out of the 10 as his wives. So it's clearly talking about polygamy there. You just don't want to acknowledge that because you don't want to say that Christ is promoting sin according to your standard.
Dude, he admits 5 attendants into the wedding feast, you moron. He
What
doesn't get
translation?
with
What
5 women.
translation
Does
you're
he say
reading?
he fucked the 5 women, you moron? Is that what he says?
You knucklehead. What translation you reading?
Holy shit, this guy's so
You're reading out
crazy.
of the you're reading
He's
out of
talking
the
about
Queen.
this is
You're reading
the
out of the Queen James.
alright, this
And by
guy.
the way, for his audience, my YouTube channel is called End Time Teacher. If you want to
Yeah,
come
no
check me out,
cares.
because I know he's using my clip as some content over
Your
there. Just to
clip? What are
clarify.
you talking about, your clip? I'm here. What are you
Yeah,
talking
but
about?
you tried to sneak on here and do a live stream at the same time without telling me, right? Which I don't care. That's all fine
Dude,
and dandy. But you should have
I'm
said something.
here. It's my live stream. What are you talking about? Like, do you
Whatever.
do you
We'll
have
just
this
say he
thing
don't know
that,
what he's
like, you
talking
think
about.
when people come on your channel, you own their fucking voice or something?
No, knucklehead. Usually, when people join live streams, they're not live at the same time on their page.
When? Where? What? In
When
what
I mean,
world,
hell,
bro?
most people I talk to, but I mean, shit, is that a green screen behind you, or is that actually your damn house, man?
It's a green screen, buddy.
Oh, I figured it was. I imagine you wouldn't be living in a nice place like that, man. Shit, not that I have anything nice myself, but man, I guess we're both in the same boat.
Okay, dude.
But
That
yo,
was
man,
good.
I'll give you a chance. You got anything else
At
you
least
wanna
I can
bring up to me?
afford a fucking live green screen to put behind me. What do you
Well,
got, bro?
knucklehead, I have something better than a damn green screen. Why
Let's see.
spend
Turn it up.
$200 on the damn green screen when
Why
you
do you
can get a
keep
damn
talking shit
shower
about,
curtain?
like, what I look like and my background, but you're scared to turn your camera on?
Knucklehead, because I'm in a dark spot, so you literally, if I did turn my camera on, you can't see me
You
because
don't
I'm
have
not
a
in a.
setup? You don't have a setup with lights and shit?
I mean, I do, but I don't always use that setup. It just depends on my location when I decide to do a live stream.
Okay,
I mean, again,
dude.
not all of us are sitting around cozy, comfortable by the fire all day, like how you're doing when you do your live stream setup. Like, sorry, but not all of us are doing that, man.
What?
Hell,
Here,
sometimes
you
some of us
want me
leave
to
the
go to
house
the
sometimes.
top floor for you? Yeah, I'll go to the top floor for you. Is it better?
Top floor. So,
We're on the
shit.
top
So
floor
now
now.
you teleported somewhere
We're
else.
on the top floor now, bro.
Shit, people should call you Jesus at this point if you can teleport.
Oh wait, we'll go
Right.
to the dungeon. How you like that?
Where are we at now? Hell? Is this Epstein's Island? Where the hell are we at?
You would want to go to Epstein's Island, wouldn't you?
Oh man, this is crazy, man.
You would want to go to Epstein's Island, wouldn't you? It's weird. That's the first thing came to your mind.
I mean, hell, I
You
didn't
have something
expect
to
you to
share with
have
the
that
class?
on huh?
You have
What the
something
hell
to
did
share with the
Knucklehead say?
class? Some little secrets
Whatever
you might
joke
want to
you're
share,
saying, it's
bro.
right over my
Do you
head,
wanna
bud.
make a confession?
No, I'm good, man. Hey, look, if anybody got embarrassed today, it's your, knucklehead ass, man. I mean,
Okay.
this was really sad, man. I would
It's
think
coke.
that you'd bring a little bit more
It's coke.
intelligence.
This coke is
And by
amazing.
the way, I'm like half of your age, and I absolutely whooping
You're
your
half
ass
my
right here.
age?
And all you have
How
is
old
little
are you?
gay sissy
You're
jokes and
half
shit.
my
You're an
age?
embarrassment. You are an
You're
absolute
half my you
embarrassment.
need to take better care of yourself. You're half my age?
Yeah, at least I imagine so.
You're 17?
Well, maybe not exactly half, but damn near close. Damn near close.
How
Add
old are
2
you,
more years
bro?
on there. We'll say like 22.
We'll say 22. You're not 22. Look at you. Is that what you tell the people online when you're going on Omegle trying
Well,
to talk to little girls? You're not
well,
22, guys.
when the
Shut
hell
up.
did I? Well, hold
You're
up a
not
second. But
22.
when the
Look at
hell did I
you,
say I
bro.
did
You're
that
not
though?
22, guys.
Now,
Look at
but wait,
you.
but I thought you're not the one who
You
lies
look
about
double my
people.
age
You
talking about
realized?
half my
Hold up
age.
a second. You
Weird
realize you
fuck.
slander me because I didn't do that. So you're telling a lie, something that Jesus wouldn't allow.
Oh,
But
shut
you're
up.
representing Jesus, though, right?
Yeah, don't worry. I'll repent to Jesus after. Not to
Yeah,
you. Not to
but in
some
all seriousness, though,
scumbag on the
Yeezy,
internet that
I'm
claims to
really
be
curious,
Christ.
though.
and
real quick, in all
blaspheme you.
seriousness, I'm
But
very
let me ask
curious
you
though, because
something.
you
Is
seem to be
Jesus
mocking
God?
Jesus, but yet
Is
you
Jesus
claim Jesus
God?
at the same time.
Is Jesus God?
What do you mean by that? Because the Bible says that Satan's God,
Is
Second
Jesus
Corinthians 4, verse
God?
4. Yo, knucklehead, I hear you screaming at, you're screaming louder than a Krakatoa eruption at this
My
point.
mic's
You
just
chill out
better
for
than
a
yours.
second.
My mic's just better than yours. Get a better mic.
Your scream, oh man, you're deafening to the ears, my friend.
Yeah, you just need a better mic, bro.
I mean, they can hear me smoothly, man. I don't need a
Answer the question,
$500
bro.
setup like you.
Answer the question.
Yeah, I'll answer the question. The answer to the question is the term God depends on the term. Like I can show you where Satan is called God. I can show you where Moses is called
Oh,
God.
oh,
So
really?
I let
Really?
me answer. Let me
Really?
answer.
You're gonna say Satan is God? You're a fucking dummy.
Yo, you knucklehead, do you not know the verse? Second Corinthians chapter
I
4,
don't
verse
care
4.
about
The
what you're
God
gonna
of
do
this
right now.
world
I
has
don't listen
blinded
to
their
me.
minds.
I am talking about God.
And what you don't realize is the term God
Yeah, the
has
one true God,
context.
bro.
The
There's
term God.
one God. There's one God, right?
Okay. Hey, easy.
Is there
Is
one
it
God?
true?
Capital G God.
There is one Most High God. Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Is Jesus capital G God?
No, sir.
Okay, you're a fucking moron.
Okay. Now, Yeezy. Let
Now I
me
get it.
educate you a little bit.
Now I
Is
get it.
Satan called? Is Satan called God? Is
Blasphemous, bro.
Satan called God?
Blasphemous.
Can you stop acting like a
I
prepubescent
don't
and
care
answer
about
the
these little
question?
G God thing you want to go through. Don't care.
You see, so he's running from the discussion because he knows that a dude half his age just completely whooped his ass. So he's running like a little pansy ass because he
If you
doesn't want to
announce it more,
address
maybe it'll
what's
make it
being
true,
said.
bro. Maybe to
Answer
make
the
it true.
question: Is
Here, it'll be a
Satan
good
called
clip. I
God? Yes
actually
or
gotta run
no?
and take a piss quick, so you can tell my audience all about how Satan is God, bro. Just tell them all.
Yeah. All right.
They'll listen
Sure.
to you
Sure.
about how Satan is God while I go take a piss.
All
All
right.
right?
Go ahead. Go ahead and take that piss,
Yeah,
man. Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead. So yeah, why he's doing that. So clearly, if you listen to what I'm saying, the term God has context to it. Like Moses is called God. If you read was it Exodus chapter 7, verse 1, God told Moses that I'll make thee as a God before Pharaoh. In Psalms chapter 82 and verse 6, it says, For ye are gods, sons of the most high. In Second Corinthians 4, verse 4, it says that the God of this world has blinded their eyes that they shouldn't believe. So clearly, the term God has context to it, as I'm clearly giving all these examples. Whereas this knucklehead wants you to just say, well, is there one God? It's like, well, it's not that simple because all these other individuals and people, and even the devil, get called God in the Bible. So we have to go deeper than that. So just by someone being called a God, that doesn't mean that they're Yahweh from the Old Testament. That doesn't mean that they're the true most high God just because they get called God, as all the examples I've shown. So I know he's trying to ask, is Jesus the most high God? And the answer is clearly no, as I explained. But there could be verses where Christ gets called a God. And I wouldn't deny those. I just say that it doesn't mean that he's the most high God because there's clearly context to what the word God means. And I've clearly shown multiple examples to demonstrate that statement. I'll throw the mic back to him.
Sorry, I really had to use the washroom there.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, I don't know how else to help you here, man.
But I mean, Yeezy, are you man enough to at least acknowledge I provided an evidence to show that the term God has different meanings? Like I literally shown you where the devil gets called God, and you don't want to
Yeah,
acknowledge that.
this is why I made the distinction when I said the capital G God, but you still
Okay,
Jesus is
okay,
not.
but do you realize for the first minute you did not clarify that until after I showed where Satan
Well,
was called
I
God?
think
Then you
most
clarified.
Christians, when they're asked, "Is Jesus God?" they're not meaning is Jesus and Satan the same fucking level or anything like that.
No, well, knucklehead, you have to clarify what you mean by the term
Knucklehead.
God, because
Little
most people don't
knucklehead.
realize the term God
Hey,
has multiple
doughboy.
contexts to
Hey,
it.
doughboy.
Yo, what's up?
I'm just doing the thing you were doing.
Okay, I mean, hell, man, hey, you're on the hot seat. You got anything else to say, or like,
A hot seat?
what? I mean, I've given you bonus time here, man. I mean, this is your
Damn,
chance.
I
This
feel
is
like
your chance.
I feel like I should get an award or something, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we could give you the Darwin Award for 2025, man.
This is such a good one, dude. This is bad. Like you shouldn't get into the roasting thing, dude. You're not good at it. It's not
I
a
mean,
good one.
I'm doing a hell fine job compared to your weak ass. No disrespect, but seriously though, like shit.
Roasting and
Seriously, man.
saying
I swear I've seen you in
that's
that, you know,
like
2K WWE game, man. I swear I've played as you as a character in there before.
that's a good one.
No, but I mean, all
Where I
serious.
see
I'm
you on
being
the
serious.
movie Goonies, you know, in the basement, the one, hey, you guys. I'm pretty sure I see you there.
Okay. Oh man. So let me understand this though,
And
man.
that
So
one
like, so
Star
with
Wars
everything
movie,
going
that big
on,
fat thing laying, it's like a big slug. That thing, you know what I'm talking about? Speak
yeah, I
that
know what you're
language.
saying. But yo, if all serious though, man, you know, like, so you
You were a
really don't think
killer
that we're
incarnate.
living in?
Oh, that was
I
good.
just find it strange though, man. How you don't think we're living in the end times? If all these, you know, things going on around the world, like, you really think that everything's all like peaches and cream and shit?
I
I
didn't
mean,
say
I just find it
anything
sad there's people
peachy
that
and
think like
cream.
you out there, man.
I do
Totally
know that
ignorant and docile.
he was asking questions to.
I didn't hear you.
Well, you can't hear me if you talk while I answer. Duh.
Well, knucklehead, I
Woman,
was
I need
speaking
more
first.
coffee.
I was speaking first. You were making a clown out of yourself by making like weird animal noises and shit.
That Jabba the Hutt one got you bad, huh? You okay, bro?
I mean, what do you guys say, man? Well, you interrupt me to say something. Go ahead.
I didn't interrupt you to say anything. What are you talking about?
I'm just
You
saying,
didn't
I
even
find it just
interrupt me,
sad
but
and
you said
pathetic,
some
man.
shit
How there's
about the
people
end
like
times,
you
and I
who
said,
think,
"Look, see,
okay, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
yeah, you said some shit about the end times, and I went to go answer you, and you were like, ah, yeah, nobody says anything about everything's like peachy and clean and fine and dandy, and
Oh,
that's
I forgot.
how
I
it goes
forgot. You were
everybody.
saying you
I don't
said
know if
last
you
time you
realize
said
this.
that last time
But
that
it's,
9.50 an hour was a livable wage. I
this
forgot about that.
this
Even
guy,
though
oh,
gas is like
and he
$5 a gallon.
only
Oh, you know, man. As long
keeps
as they pay
talking
you
in the middle of
9.50,
everybody's
it's
sentences
okay,
and then
man.
cries
It's
about
okay.
getting
I just
interrupted.
find it sad, man, how weak and
I
pathetic
don't
people
hear
like
what you
you are, man.
said because you started in the middle of my sentence. Like I know you got a slow brain. Just write it down so you can say it after I'm done talking, dude. Holy
I
shit.
mean, go ahead. I mean, I'll be
Now
quiet
it's
for you
go
if you make
ahead.
a mistake.
Now it's go ahead, dude. You need some help, my guy.
But I mean, in all seriously though, man, you seem like a damn atheist. Are you sure you're not just
I'm a
cosplaying?
damn atheist now. You seem
You're
like a
sure you're
damn
not just
atheist
cosplaying?
too,
Because again,
bro.
nothing about you is
You like
Jesus
a
like.
cosplay, yo, you
Matter of
seem
fact,
like a
the raging
cosplaying,
atheist is more
sewing
Christian like than you are,
Christian.
my
That's what
friend.
you seem
If
like.
you, if you if you've been around the block, you might know who I'm talking about. Raging atheist is more of a Christian, and you're a weak ass, is my friend.
I
If
don't know
Christ seen
what
you, he'd
raging
spit on
atheist
you
is,
and,
bro.
and, and view you as a pure embarrassment
It's
for
probably another
Christianity.
nobody like you.
Right back at you, big guy.
Yeah, I'm not too big of anybody either. Yeah. I mean,
So
more
so
known
so so
than
why the hell you
you,
telling
but
why the hell you telling on yourself then?
what?
Why the hell you telling on yourself?
What do you mean telling on myself?
That one
See,
that
you
went
don't
over his head.
a
He
whole
ain't he
thing
slick.
being said to you. That's your problem, right? You just listen to half. That's like what you do with the scriptures. You read a little piece of it, and you're like, "I got the answer here."
Okay,
That's your
but
problem,
to be
dude. That's
fair,
actually
but
a
is
big
that not
problem
what
with this,
you've
like,
done? Wait, but is that not what you've done, my friend, at the
No,
same time, though?
no, no, I
How have you
haven't.
not done that?
No,
How
no,
so?
I haven't.
How so?
Oh my gosh, because I answered exactly what you were saying with the context included.
Yeah, but I did the same thing though with mostly everything here. In fact, I'd
No,
argue
you
I did
didn't.
well so better than you.
Yeah, well, so
Like,
better
remember,
than
you're the
you.
knucklehead who said that God gives us permission to commit sin. Like when we talked about polygamy, oh, he
Did
just gave a
not say
guideline
that's
about
not what
to how to continue in sin.
a regulation
Totally
isn't a
stupid.
permission, you moron.
So God gave regulation about how to continue to commit sin. He didn't correct the sin. What a
No, it
knucklehead!
wasn't about continuing the sin. It was about containing it.
Let
I
me
said
guess.
that already.
You
Like you
believe in
don't
once saved,
listen,
always
dog.
saved,
You don't
right?
listen. That's your problem.
Well, I mean, you're not giving anything of value. Like, I'm hearing the same bullshit, minute
Kidding.
after minute,
You're
like
not
a
getting
damn
it.
broken record, man.
Mr. End Times teacher over here with the hyphenated, the real preacher talking about fucking, I'm not giving anything of substance. Bro, you
Yeah,
sit here and tell five
absolutely
people
not, man.
every
I
because
mean,
the
shit.
world's
You don't even believe we're on the verge of World War III. I mean, again, you're just a docile American
what do
patriot
you mean
slave,
World War
is
Three?
what you are.
Well, what would you consider World War Three? How far would it have to be an actual declaration of war?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, it certainly seems like we're in the
Could you
beginning
argue we're
stages of a
actually in
World War
World War
III.
Three right now?
I mean, possibly in beginning stages. I mean, world wars
No,
don't
no,
happen
we've
in
been
one
in
or
it
two
for a
years.
while. Like, couldn't you
They
say that for the
happen over
last
a
like
period of
20
time.
years we've been in World War Three?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Couldn't you actually say that for the last 20 years we've been in World War Three technically? Because like you just said declaration of war
No,
isn't needed.
no, sir. I wouldn't say that because clearly
Well,
the environment
what
right now is much worse compared to 10 or 15 years ago. That's very
what
obvious to see for anybody who pays attention
what
to
is your
global news.
standard for World War Three then?
Well, all the nations seem to be taking their sides right now. Like, say, for instance, like the
That's not what I
nations are.
asked you. You're not are
Yeah,
you
well,
listening to what I'm
knucklehead, you have to
asking?
give me a chance to respond to your question. You can't expect a 2-second response. Like, show me the respect. Again, you'll sit there and cry when I do it
You're
to you,
answering
but then you'll
something
turn around and
else.
do it to me.
All right, just repeat my question back to me so I know you're answering.
Okay, you asked me like what do I classify as World War III and like what's based around those terms is what you were asking me. How would I classify it as being in World War III?
What's the standard that meets World War Three?
Yeah, and I'll answer the question. I'm saying we're in the beginning stages of it. The big war hasn't started yet. We're just in the beginning where players are picking their sides right now. That's why people are trying to join NATO, trying to join the BRICS alliance, right? People are ditching the dollar to get with Russia or China's currency. And so on and so forth. That's why I said we're in the beginning stages. The big war didn't happen yet. That could still be a few years off because we're just in the beginning stages where people are picking their sides. But it's around the corner, though. And that's the thing that you seem to be ignorant of and don't want to acknowledge that it's approaching, it's around the corner. I think that's very obvious to see for people who watch the news, but apparently you don't keep up to date with what's going on. Mike's yours.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you again. What is the standard that reaches World War Three?
I answered your question. If you
No,
don't
you
like
didn't.
that,
You
you can
told me
piss
we're
off.
at the beginning. No, no, you did not. You said we're at the beginning stages right now. We're not at the big war. What's the big
Okay,
war? What's happening that
okay. So
means it's
like
we're in
say for
World War?
instance, okay, so say for instance, right, like if Russia and NATO decide to throw troops at one another, we could classify that as the absolute beginning of the conflict as far as fighting goes,
So if
if that's what
Russia
you're
and
asking.
NATO are in a fight, that would be World War Three.
That would be the beginning of the climax of the action starting to get hot, yes. But we're in the beginning stage now where people are picking what side they want to be on in the global stage. That's what it certainly seems like. But yo, just so I understand, so you're of the mindset that World War III is never going to happen, right? You're just one of those weak simps that believes the government has everything in control and nothing bad's going to ever happen. Is that true, or am I misunderstanding?
Can you tell me why the word simp there even makes any sense?
Well, again, I think that you're a
Like
weak
trying to
simp
like
that
toss
just
out
shares
insults while you
your
talk like a
views online
child.
and huh? What did Knucklehead say?
See, like you just like trying to like toss out these names to like
Okay,
do
but
something.
you
You
do the same
sound
thing though.
pathetic. You're
So why are
cringy as
you crying about it if you do the same thing?
no, I
Like
don't though.
I'm only showing you the same disrespect because you show me that.
No,
Except
it's
the
not
difference
what
between
happened.
the difference between you and me is I can take a joke and move on. You got to throw a fit about it for an hour. That's the difference between the maturity of myself and the childness of you.
Uh, this is crazy, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's really just sad, man, that there's
Me
people
pointing
out
it
there that
out
are
is
so
crying
weak like
about it.
you.
Me pointing it out is crying about it.
Yeah, I mean, hell, if anybody's
Exactly,
being exposed, I think you're being exposed as a liar, man.
bro.
You lied on God. You lied on the Bible.
Bro.
And you're going to get punished for that if you don't change your view, my friend. Remember, Christ said when he's coming back, he's going to
Oh,
judge
is that right?
everybody
Are you
according to
making
their works.
salvation claims
So,
now?
no,
Are you
I didn't
making
say that I
salvation
didn't say that
claims
I was
now?
saved, but I'm
Excuse
warning you
me, are
that
you
you got to
making
change your ways.
salvation claims?
Like, say for instance, you're on
What are you
here
talking
smoking a
about God
joint on here.
punishing
You're
me?
committing
Bro,
sin. You're
bro,
on here committing sin. In fact, you lied on me multiple times. So you're on here sinning, man. And I'm
this
telling
guy
you to stop doing that.
making salvation claims, talking about lying and shit. You're crazy, bro.
Yo, knucklehead, if you can pay attention
Yo,
and clean out that
knucklehead.
earwax in your
Yo,
ears,
knucklehead.
I never claimed that I was
I
saved. I
claim
mean,
I'm
that those
fucking
words didn't
20,
come
but
out
I'm
my mouth.
using fucking 80s fucking disses. Yo, knucklehead. Shut up, bro.
I mean, I
Sound like
could
an
call you a lot
extra in
worse,
the
but
Fresh Prince
unlike
of
you,
Bel-Air.
I can temper my tongue.
That's what you
Unlike you, that
sound
just
like,
spouts
bro.
out
You
what's
sound
ever
like
on
some
your mind.
extra in Saved by the Bell, bro. We don't care.
Okay, all right. Well, yo,
Knucklehead.
Easy, have a good night, man. And you don't know what you're talking about. Have a good night. All right, so that's enough of hearing from that knucklehead. So me and that dude, we've had a conversation in the past before. Um, and it went a little better than this one. But again, I'm never against letting people come up here with opposing views to have conversations. And obviously, this knucklehead, I don't take him serious. He's just a clown and just fun to make fun of this knucklehead and laugh. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? The people who watch this conversation can take the little nuggets of information I provided and be able to easily refute knuckleheads like this if they ever come across them in the future. Like think about this. Knucklehead claims to be a representation of Jesus, but yet sits here and makes gay jokes and doesn't even believe we're living in the end times. I mean, wow, that is just an embarrassment. Absolute embarrassment, man. So one guy said, you're going to open the panel. Nah, man, this is not an open panel stream. I wasn't planning on bringing anybody up here, but he convinced me to bring him on. And I was curious how the conversation would go. So that's why I made an exception. Though I'm going to plan on doing another open panel live stream, probably, I don't know, maybe Thursday night, probably like Thursday night. Okay, hold on. This one guy, what was your question? You had a question or something you wanted to ask or what? And by the way, I'm on limited battery time here. I only have like 15%. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you had a real quick, like 5 minute question, I can let you up to answer the 5 minute question. But I can't do a half an hour conversation with you, man. I don't have the battery life and I don't have the energy. But if you have a 5 minute question, I can give you the privilege to come up and ask your 5 minute question. Just let me know. I mean, that's fine. You can wait till next time, man. But in my defense, I never said that it was an open panel live stream. So, and by the way, I never seen you in the back chat with the link I put up there for the other dude to join. So sorry, man. don't mean to disappoint you, but I never claimed that it was an open panel for everybody to hop on tonight. Otherwise, I would have put it in the panel name. So my apology. Okay. Okay. Christ domain in hell. I mean, that's all right. If you want to click the link, I can bring you up here for a couple minutes, man. But I'm serious. I mean, a couple of minutes. This isn't going to be no long, drawn out thing because I'm on limited battery life here, so I need to get going. But again, if you want to come up for 5-10 minutes, I could probably grant you that. Put a link down there for you. All right, that's cool. All right. Yeah, so this one guy just come back then another night when I open up the panel so we can have a longer conversation. That is fine. Let me also see. Bear with me for a second. Yeah, where the hell did my banner go? Okay, for other people who are watching who want to join in another conversation or reach out to me with your questions or comments or would like to set up a video conversation on live stream, you can contact me at my personal Gmail, nathanroberts123123 at gmail.com. Right, you can personally contact me over there. This person said, unapologetic preacher, open panel Thursday night. I'll be there. Okay, cool. Yeah, I will arrange a live stream for Thursday night, which would basically be at the same time I'm doing this live stream, right? So where I'm at, it's currently 11:42. So on Thursday evening, I'm set up a live stream for 11:30, right? 11:30. So y'all can be there, put up click the notification bell so you get notified, and I'll see you all there. That's fine. But yeah, in conclusion, right, that knucklehead that came up here for the last hour, again, a total embarrassment, totally doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And it's really sad. It's really sad that somebody half his age has to, completely embarrass him like that. But hey, somebody got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, it's just entertaining to see the faults of some people like that. You can see how he's unable to control himself and get, offended and upset at every little thing. I mean, hey, look, man, I don't really give a shit about the shit you say against me. Hell, I'm built tough. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really care what you got to say. I'm just doing it for, giggles and, to piss him off. You know what I'm saying? But, but yeah, man, that was fun, dissing that knucklehead. Let me check real quick. Okay. Just checking something behind the scenes here. Yeah, I brought up to him that David had multiple wives. I brought up how again, I think that you missed half of the conversation. But I brought up, what was it, Second Samuel 12:8, where God gave David his master's wives. And they asked, it's like, well, if polygamy is a sin, well, why did God give David multiple wives? Like, you're basically saying that God is promoting sin. He wasn't able to keep pace with the conversation, that went over his damn head. Maybe to all of, the vapes and smokes of this dude's, up here consuming. You know what I'm saying? It fried his brain over time. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, Knucklehead's a complete embarrassment. Yeah, good point. I brought that up to him, but didn't want to address it. He said, "Does SpeakeaZy follow the way of the heathen with that tree back there?" They brought up Jeremiah 10. Says, "For the customs of the people are vain. One cuts a tree out of the forest with the works of the hands of the workmen, and an axe, and they deck it with silver and with gold, and fasten it with hammers and nails that it move not." Right. If you read the whole chapter, it's talking about Christmas trees, right? So yeah, I mean, if all of us dudes had our own place, we wouldn't set up that stuff, because it does go against the scriptures. But guys like that, that's what they're out here doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it really is just pathetic. And then when you bring it up to him, you got no clue what you're talking about. Like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, I don't know, whatever, man. Right, right. Said he's a clout chaser. Yeah, yeah. Yo, hello.
Hey man, what's up?
Yo, how's it going, Rich?
Yeah, it's going good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. It could be better, but hey, just taking life one day at a time, my friend. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm about the same, man. It's just everything passes, man. The good times pass, the bad times pass, so that's all you can do.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah.
It's it is what it is, man. It's what it is. But I heard that you said that you got your channel, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Terminated. So when that happened, was that like yesterday or something, man?
So it was I think about 2 weeks ago it got terminated, and the literally the reason was it said I was scamming, and like I was literally not doing that. It was completely bogus, and I even sent a appeal, and they denied it. So obviously, it was really because they didn't like what I was saying, So they just threw some bogus stuff out. But I'm used to it now. Like, yeah, I had 1,300 subscribers, so it sucks. But like, I'm used to it now. Like, I'm on my 20 or 30th channel now, so nothing really surprises me.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I've had the same, experience over the years. I probably lost like 4 or 5 channels,
Yeah.
over the years. It definitely sucks, but hey, you always can get back up and start again over.
Yeah, man. And
Easier
uh,
said than done, of course.
yeah, and I think one of the sad things about it is that like when they terminate our channels, and obviously, especially back in the day when we were like teenagers, making content, we didn't think to back up everything. So like hundreds of hours of our history talking about all kinds of stuff is just gone. It's down the memory hole. So that sucks.
Right, I hear you, man. I hear you. What I try to do is save some videos to like a backup channel. Like I have 2 or 3 channels I re-upload some videos to, so in the future if I need them, I got them there. But though unfortunately I still probably lost like 700 videos, 800 videos over the years and good live streams over the years, due to these channels getting taken down. So unfortunately, you can't get that stuff back, but hey, you always get back up and try again, man. I guess that's the good news in the situation, among all the negativity and all, negative news.
Yeah, man. It's cool, that for the people that have been with us all this time, that have basically got to watch stuff that nobody else is ever going to get to watch. Like, that's a cool way to think about it.
Yeah, man, a lot of these guys around today that watch our content, they didn't watch us, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, man. You only got a few of them. Like I know brother Luke that's down there in the audience. Shout out to Luke
Yeah.
if he's listening. And a couple other honorable mentions out there that have been watching, us for a couple of years now, really since the beginning. But yeah, there's not many of them left, man. A lot of them, either went different ways. Hell, some of them don't even believe anymore. Like, I'll give an example. Like, I had a friend that I've known for many years who used to, believe in the Bible. But then I contact him, months ago to see how he's doing now after not talking to him for years. And it turns out that, the dude's, into Hinduism now and doesn't believe
Yeah.
in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So over time, hey, just like it said, was that First Timothy 4 verse 1? It says, "Know this, brethren, that in this last times some will depart from the faith." Oh, but according to that knucklehead who was on here before you, oh, we're not living in the end times. We're not in the end times today, man. Absolutely stupid. It is totally ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
serious.
and I think it's odd that it was basically like 5 or 6, 7 years ago. It was like a dozen of us, in this little community actually making content, and now it's limited to just a few of us. And man, like I just think it's really odd that people can grow out of being a truther. Like a truther isn't a phase, like once you wake up to how the world works, like that should stay with you for your entire life, because like if you see it, you can't unsee it. So like how are these people just leaving? It makes me wonder if they were ever genuine or if it was all just about oh, I'm gonna make conspiracy stuff for views, and then when it didn't work out, they're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the next thing, and just left it behind.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It really is bizarre how some people can, come to the truth, believe in the truth for years, but then, just turn their back on it, go back in the world. Like Jeranism is a great example. Well, he went down, did that final experiment. Fair enough, he changed his mind about flat Earth. That's debatable. But on the other hand, now he's starting to believe in NASA and the moon landings, and the government's not as corrupt as we once thought it was. It's really bizarre. Now the dude, after, 10, 11 years, teaching these, truths and conspiracies, now he's
Mhm.
being rocked back to sleep, into trusting the government and trusting the media. It really is bizarre and sad.
Yeah, yeah, man, it really is, and and like in his case, I guess having basically what you've dedicated your entire career to apparently being proven wrong, with the 24-hour thing. And we can speculate if that was real or CGI, and if Jaren is a shill and it was all just part of a hoax or whatever. But like if it is real, like I do understand from his perspective, like you believe the earth is flat, you dedicate your entire career to that, and then you see something that proves your worldview wrong. I could understand how that would like make you question everything you believe.
Right. Real quick, let me say something for the audience. This is not an open panel stream. Keep asking. I plan on doing one this Thursday. So, like this dude down here, testing prophecy, which that's that preterist guy. Come back on Thursday, man. Thursday night's gonna be open panel. Gladly bring you up to have a discussion. But yeah, Rich, I just find that strange. Like even with these preterist guys,
Yeah.
going around believing that everything is okay today. Christ came back 2,000 years ago. We're living basically in eternity right now. It's all said and done. The Bible is all past. It's all history. Nothing in the future is contained in there. It really is just strange and dangerous. Then we have people on the other hands claiming that the Old Testament God is actually the devil. It really is just sad and pathetic, the doctrines people
Well,
believe. And
see,
don't get me wrong, let me tie this back real quick. Like I
yeah.
remember 10, 11 years ago on YouTube, man, you didn't have all this crazy shit going on back then. Don't get me wrong. Of course, there were nonsense and garbage here or there, but it's so bizarre how bad it's got over the years, man, with all of these weird and bizarre doctrines and belief that people are just spewing online
Mhm.
endlessly at this point.
Yeah, well, like see, with the preterism thing, it's so stupid that I don't even think there's like I wouldn't even give any time to it. It's just like look at the world, turn on the news for a few seconds. If you think we're in heaven, like you're delusional. But like I think we're like doctrines like that. Some people just think it's cool to have some kind of like abstract view of religion in the world that nobody else has. Like, oh, I got it figured out. I'm a preterist. Nobody else knows what that means. I have it all figured out. You know what I mean? Like, some people are
Yeah,
chasing
it's
this.
like they're trying to achieve their own, vainglory, basically.
Yeah. That's what happens. People chase these like esoteric, really obscure doctrines and beliefs, and it's literally in most cases like just for pride. Like, oh, I'm part of this. I believe in this, and everybody else is dumb and doesn't get it.
Right, I hear you, man. I hear you. But hell, man. I speaking of our history, man. I remember, back on the call with you and Rock on Google Hangouts. We were back then trying to figure out, who this fart troll guy was. It was feels like it was so long ago, but it also feels like it was just yesterday, man. It's hard to
Man,
believe that was like 8, 9 years ago.
man, I still think about that from time to time, and it's like literally, I've had a few people a year or two ago. I had LOP ask me about the whole situation, and I sent him a voice message that took literally 20 minutes to explain the whole lore, and I still probably missed a lot of it. Like, it's so crazy. Only a dozen of us who were actually there know everything, and there's like no way to explain it to outsiders. It's
Yeah,
just
you know
so
what? That
so
would be
deep,
good,
man.
man. How about one day? Which, by the way, you have my own personal Gmail, right?
Uh, I don't
Here, I'll
believe I
flash it.
have
I'll
it
flash it
anymore.
on the screen. Can you see it
Okay.
there?
Yeah, I see it, man.
Yeah, after the stream, contact me there so we can keep in contact on that. I don't
Yeah.
know how active you are on Discord or whatever, but contact me there. What we should do, Ridge, is we should do a stream together, and we can discuss, our history and the drama
Yeah.
where we just have me and you on stage. People can ask questions and comments about it, but it'd be good to sit down for an hour and two just to explain the lore and backstory. Maybe we can write some stuff down so we have a few notes to cover too, but it'd
Yeah.
probably be a smart idea to do that, man.
Yeah, man, I would love that. I want to ask you basically just in retrospect what your theory on this guy is. I'll give you mine real quick. So, I mean, I'm an adult now. I don't got nothing to be ashamed of. Like, when I saw this dude doing all this stuff and I was getting into it with Cole Casper and Andrew, I copied him, right? And you could tell the difference because I was using the Mobazon
Well,
screen
just so I
recorder.
know what dude you're talking about, though, just so I know what you're referring to.
Oh, I'm referring to the fart troll, right?
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is just my theory, right? So me and John were kids. We were being in a drama with some people, and we copied this guy. And then, he used that to make it look like we were doing everything, right? And so everybody was blaming everybody and exposing everybody. Remember, the loving Christian even got brought into it.
Right.
But I don't think.
Kyle as well. We can't forget Kyle.
Yeah, and everybody came to the conclusion, kind of in the end, that John was like the mastermind or whatever. I still stand by the belief that it's somebody we don't know and we've never seen their face or name that was behind the main part of this, and
Yeah.
um,
Well, my take on that, just to add on to what you're saying, I think that John wasn't involved, but I also believe that he was working with somebody on the side that we don't know about. So I believe it was two of them involved. I'll give you an example. There is a dude I talked to. What was this guy? Issy Pop 15 and his older brother. Which again, we disagree as to if they're the same person. I believe that
yeah,
they're both separate people, but his brother released a video exposing Rock, and I can confirm a lot of the information in that video because I know Rock upon him in real life. We've met up, we've known each other for years in
uh,
real life. So, as a person who can confirm a lot of that information that was provided in that video by Issy Pop's brother, I would lead me to the conclusion that Rock is involved with the
yeah.
situation. But I do agree with you that there does seem to be another individual behind the scenes that none of us know about. But I guess that will
So
forever be a mystery.
yeah, so let me ask you one question real quick about like the Izzy Pop thing, because you know, before I've mentioned the fake profile picture, which was Justin Bieber's friend, and you
Right.
know, you said anybody can make any profile pic, which is true. Um, but the reason I say that picture is weird is because um, there was one of the Jake Rubens videos where he was trying to say that, you know, John was how do I put this in the live stream? You know, he was into the same type of people, you know, and so
Right. Right.
he was showing a picture of who he claimed was his brother, zoomed up, and he said, "I can't show you the full picture because the full picture is that he sent John is you know what," and
Right.
this guy that wasn't him. So he was literally saying this fake guy's my brother that
Right.
sent this
I
picture, you know?
understand. I understand the weird part there, but you see, the thing that gets me, it makes me believe that these are two real people, is I've actually talked to both Issy Pop 15 and his brother on separate calls for like 2 or 3 hours each. So
Yeah,
the deep conversations I've had with them, it's very genuine, and really, just like how me and you are doing it here, right? Nothing combative, total respect, and just a good conversation between people. I've done it multiple times with them back then. So given that into it, I really believe they are real people. And then considering the fact that his older brother was able to gather all this factual information with it, it really convinces me that these are real people, not
right.
just some type of fakers. Because Rich, you didn't get to talk to any of them on phone call like I did, or did you? Or what about it?
There was one little phone call with 3 or 4 people in it with Izzy Pop.
Okay, yeah. So again, from my perspective, I talked to both of them privately on phone calls for a few
Yeah.
hours. So, it's from my perspective, I see them as real people. As far as the picture, icons and stuff, I'm sure maybe that's a little weird, but considering what I've seen, I'd view them as real, just from my perspective.
So, you know, if I was going to play the devil's advocate there, I'll just throw that out there. Let's just say for their own protection, you know, they were saying they're this person, right? Because they don't want their
Yeah, that could
faces to
be
be out there,
believable.
maybe.
Right, that
Yeah.
could be believable.
Um. So, but yeah, back to the mystery person. You remember there was also a lot of trolling of this weird little community that I wasn't part of. The what was it? My Little Pony community. It would be like these weird videos of Age Anonymous exposed or Rich Speaks exposed. It'd just be a picture of some kid. Um,
Right, right.
for
Yeah,
like
I believe the kid in that was Atheist Alien, which was a
yeah.
character that Kyle, aka the Vigilant Soldier, was going back and forth with for like a year or so. So that's who the kid was in the image there, at least according to my understanding.
Yeah. Um, but if I remember right, like Rock knew some of those people. So, um, and didn't he admit that he was behind that part of it? Or maybe I'm misremembering.
I believe so, yes.
Um, yeah. One other thing, man, I forgot about the lore, and I'm actually getting chills right now thinking about it because this video, damn, man, actually kind of scared me because it was like a robot voice, and it was so mad, dude. It was showing pictures of Izzy Pop, and it was supposed to be Izzy Pop's mom after he, you know, took himself, and it was in a
Right.
robot voice, just cussing out John. Like, not gonna lie, man, that was some chilling stuff, man. If it was real,
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but it sounds pretty damn intense, man. Again, there's so much lore and and shit involved in this, man. The people that are just tuning in now, to have been following us for a year or two. This is totally out of their mind. The hell, this
yeah,
is like a whole Netflix thriller. The story that we have to share, right?
yeah, yeah, man. So what actually happened with Izzy Pop? Because again, that was a robot voice, so it could have just been a troll claiming that you know it was Izzy Pop's mom. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
well, the story for those who don't know what we're talking about is there was a couple individuals back years ago that were part of this community. And apparently, according to the rumors, according to the legend, for lack of better terms, is Rock Upon Him apparently was a rainbow, and trying to get, images of this other dude. And the dude ended up like taking his life or something like that, at least according to his brother. And again, this all could be myth, we don't know, but this is what could have happened.
Yeah.
But again, this is the internet, so we don't know factually. So take this with a grain of salt. But from the information we've gathered, this certainly could be true. That Rakapana might have made this guy take his own life. So that's the rumor. And the
Yeah.
rumor was that this happened because, they were exchanging images online and whatnot, and, a bunch of crazy shit like that. So again, the rumor is that Rakapana is actually like this, evil and bad guy, which in
Hmm.
a way is true, right? In a way is true, because it seems like Rock Upon Him was this, big hacker and troll that been following myself and Ridge and Kyle and Love and Christian and a few other people for like 4 years in a row. Every day he'd be after us in this online community around here. So again, a lot of lore that a lot of people that are new here don't really know about.
Yeah.
I'll throw it to you, Ridge.
Yeah. And you know, yeah, some of the stuff, like I remember one time, like even I believe exposed like Rock Upon Him, and he talked about how sorry he was, and the trolling continued, and they were even trolling Rock Upon Him, like putting fart sounds over his videos, and you could say that was him doing damage control or whatever, trying to have it both ways. Like, look, that's not me. Why would I do it to myself? I don't know. Or maybe it really was, some other person who was trolling all of us, even Rock Upon Him. I don't know.
Yeah, because he tried to say that it's trolling him as well, right? But then
Yeah.
the other strange thing that should be mentioned is Levin Christian put up a video once too, where he had like a robotic voice and talking, all these weird things. So again, man, it's really strange and bizarre. I don't think any
Oh,
of us really have a full
dude.
answer for who's
Yeah,
behind all that.
those creepy robot death threats to Andrew Ashby. That sounded just like the Loving Christian. Now, obviously, Loving Christian has a strong British accent, so I'm sure it's easy to find an AI robot to talk
Yeah,
like
but
that
but
for
but I
you.
mean that's really scary how accurate that is to his voice, man. I mean, it's
Yeah,
unbelievable. Like it literally is him just with a an overlay on it. It's
yeah.
crazy if that wasn't him. It literally sounds identical to him.
And so yeah, Andrew Ashby used that to blame, say the Loving Christian was behind all of it and was working for Mario, and Mario was paying people to troll. And he even said me and you were being paid by Mario. We were working for him.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious, right? Like
Yeah.
like um like this knucklehead Andrew Ashby. Oh well, ETT's being paid by Mario. It's like knucklehead. All I said is that Mario wasn't this big horrible guy you're saying he is. That doesn't mean I love the guy. In fact, if you listen to what I said Mario's clearly wrong about much of the things he said. I just simply said that he wasn't this terrible figure that you're pretending that he is. But
Yeah.
that must mean I'm being paid to say that. I mean, totally
Yeah,
retarded and stupid.
and what's funny is, like people like Andrew Ashby were talking about how, like, how blasphemous Mario is with false doctrine. And it's like he just bared false witness against us, breaking one of the 10 Commandments himself. Unless he
Right.
has concrete proof, we're being paid by Mario. He's literally bearing false witness.
Right. You can't go out and just make all these accusations, against people with no valid evidence or reasoning, to
Yeah,
support that. The Bible literally comes out and tells you you're not supposed to go around and, and do that to people, bear false witness against people.
yeah,
It's just totally, totally ignorant and naive, a lot of these guys, man.
yeah. Um. So, what was your very first experience you remember with the fart troll?
Oh man. It's I remember, a few things, man. It's hard to pinpoint exactly where it started, but I remember being backstage with Rock Upon Him, when this third guy was there that, I guess he invited this troll to come on and try to talk, but just bunch of noises and shit and whatever. So then after that, it's a couple of videos, back and forth, I guess. And then basically it started off from there, man. But really it first started happened maybe a month after meeting Rock Upon Him online. Because it's actually really funny how me and Rock Upon Him met. This is the story. So before I started YouTube, I went to this church in Winter Haven, Florida. And
Yeah.
we took my buddy Mark, which knows Rock Upon Him in real life there, right? I used to live next to Mark, buddies with him, friends to this very day. But, me and him ended up talking one day. And he was like, yeah, that guy, John at church? I was like, yeah, I know a dude named John at the church in Winter Haven when I went there. And he's like, oh, yeah, he got a YouTube channel. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me check that out. So Rock Upon Him had a channel. I believe it had like 8 or 9,000 subs back in like 2016.
Yeah, because Mario shouted him out. They did videos together like every week
Right,
back in the
right.
day.
I seen that. I seen that. So anyway, so I contact Rock, and I decided to make my own channel, to start talking on there, which I called it Age Anonymous. That's what my channel was back then. And get in contact with Rock and confirm it's the guy I know from church, and we start getting talking, and that's how we became friends
Hmm.
on YouTube. But technically, we did meet each other in real life beforehand, just not on YouTube. And then here's also something that should be thrown in there. I've been trying to tell Rock Upon Him for years that we should have, met up in real life and had, a couple conversations, maybe did a video or live stream together. And then literally the day that I'm leaving Florida to travel across the country, the day I'm packing the truck up to do that, Mark and Rock show up at my door. It's
Yeah,
like, hold on, wow, you guys just show up randomly out of the blue at my house. So
yeah.
we took the day and we went on some walks, had some talks, and did a couple videos together, a couple debates and
So,
whatnot. And it was fun. But I'm just pointing out that that was the only time besides when I met Rock at church that we actually met up in real life was the last day that I was in Florida before, leaving to head, to another state or whatever. But yeah, it's funny how things work out sometimes, man.
yeah. So, did you talk about the troll any when you met him in person?
I mean, there could have been a few, words back and forth about it, man,
Yeah.
but really, I was just excited to, meet Rock, because it's been literally years since we've seen each other, so we just enjoyed a couple of hours together, did a couple of videos, and we had Mark there too. So, just had a little bit of fun for a while because I don't know if I'll ever, see John again in a very long time, in real life, so maybe a couple words back and forth about it, but,
Yeah, yeah.
just tried to enjoy the little time we had together.
So, my first ever experience with the fart troll, um, was he was only trolling Cole Casper, I believe, at this point, and he had a picture of a Chinese man as his profile picture, and it was just like it was really lighthearted, man. Is what was weird. Like I remember he just did the fart videos and posted memes of Cole Casper, and I talked about how funny they were, and we just joked around, and it was so weird. It was like he really came across as I'm just playing around, I'm doing this for fun, and compare that to a year or two later where he was literally leaving death threats towards us and talking about doing stuff to our families. It was so weird, and it made me wonder, like, is this even the same person? Because he started off so lighthearted, like, oh, I'm just doing making some fun memes and stuff, right? And then he just went crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's really bizarre, really bizarre. But yeah, man, as you were saying earlier, like 95% of our audience who watch, none of them know about this lore and about the history, man. So soon in the future, we got to come back, sit for like 2 hours,
Yeah.
on stream and, just go over some of this history and lore that some of our newer followers are not, don't know about.
Yeah, man, and I think some of it actually is still archived. Like I believe there is a like Rock Upon Them Exposed channel or something with the some of Jake Rubin's videos, and then I think there's also on the Vigilant Soldiers channel. There's still like the live stream where him and Rock Upon him talk about it, and I'll come in at one point as well. So a lot of it is deleted, but there is still some.
Oh yeah, man. I seen that video where Kyle was doing that stream about the troll, and then you come in as well. I mean, if you contact me on my Gmail, I can send you that video. I'm pretty sure I have it, and if not, I know where to find that video. But yeah, that was really interesting. Kyle actually went after Rock because he had all this evidence and proof against him. And Rock was trying to, play it off like he don't know what he's talking about. And then I'll play an AI video that somebody edited of me talking, which clearly, if you watch it, you can see someone just took my voice from a video, just edited it together to make it look like I'm saying this and that. And then Kyle called him out. It's like, well, wait, Rock, but the video where you're talking, you can tell it's not edited, but the one with ETT in it, you can clearly tell that someone's just slicing up the clips and putting them together, so it shows that it's not really him.
Yeah, and it was in that video at the end that he did admit to doing some of it. I remember that.
Yeah, man, it's just definitely strange and bizarre, man. But again, it's just hard to believe that all of this was like 9 years ago or so, man. It feels like it was just yesterday that all these things were going on, but it turns out it's nearly a damn decade. Like, say, for instance, like it's about to be 2026 in just, a couple of weeks here. It's like, shit, 2026, I remember when it turned, 2016. Remember the day it happened. And here we are a decade later.
This stuff started in 2016, I believe, with the troll.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, just weird to think about that. It's just about 10 years ago that all this stuff, it's been going on, man. Just hard to swallow that.
Oh, I just remembered another part of the lore. There was some girl named Samantha, I believe, who was involved in some stuff somehow, if you remember her.
Oh, yeah. Samantha, she tried to, pretend that she's a girl to try to get you, to send some images of yourself to, and then she'll take that and, share them around, try to go to different guys and get that, which, obviously it's just a dude that's running the account, trying to get that information on you.
Right. And then I remember there was some moron in the comments that went by the name Donnie Darko that kept talking crap about me, saying I was the troll and everything, and he never responded to one comment of mine. So I always thought that was probably the troll or something trying to play both sides.
Yeah, probably was, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man, crazy stuff.
Yeah, like another thing to imagine, man. With 2020, which of course we got to watch the words we use, but with everything being shut down and all the shit that happened that year, is almost damn 6 years ago that all that stuff happened, man. Let's address this, by the way. Alfred said it was T-Mog. Well, actually, no. The miner Shrek, right, the miner god. He doesn't come into any of this until 2018, right? So all of this stuff happened a few years before the miner Shrek was even on the scene, and then even when he was, the miner Golf, right, Shrek, really he and me just talked, right? He wasn't really affiliated with the truther community we had, right? Jay didn't really know him, Ridge didn't really know him, Kyle didn't know him, Rock didn't know him. The miner Shrek was just like a side character that I interacted with on the side. So he came after all of this stuff, so newer people to the channel, he was like a co-host over here on my show, but really me and Shrek first knew each other in mid 2018. Right. So that's where Miner Shrek comes into all this. So he's not affiliated with any of this information.
Yeah, let me try to name everybody I remember that was involved, and you can add to it if you want, or if you remember anybody else. It was me, you, Rock Upon him, the loving Christian, the Vigilant Soldier, the Vigilant Christian, Cole Casper, Andrew Ashby, Izzy Pop, and Jake Rubens.
Oh, just so I know, you were referring to like all the people back then, because I didn't hear you. I was reading something in the
Yeah,
comment.
all the people that were involved in the fart troll thing.
Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because I believe the troll went after Andrew a little bit too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. He actually
Oh,
went
and
after
then we
Andrew
can't forget
Ashby a lot.
about Cologne faggot Casper as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Dude,
knucklehead too.
I remember you used to call him Colby Casper, and Andrew Ashby would get so mad on his behalf.
Yeah, yeah, man. Funny.
And remember, I would call him Colonel Casper, and Andrew would be like, "It's Colonel." He'd get so mad. It was weird, man. Like,
Yeah, it's funny, man. Really funny.
yeah.
Yeah, like I remember, like whoever this troll was, right? And here's another key of information that you might not have known, but I gave Rock access to my YouTube account to help me like edit some videos and do some of that stuff because he was a close friend back then. Which nugget of information everybody should take into consideration. Nowadays, don't trust anybody with access to your YouTube channel because sometimes you learn the hard way, but you can learn
Hmm.
from my mistake. So I had Rock come in to help me with some of that, and it turns out somebody was messing with like the YouTube thumbnails. I was like, Rock was trying to say, "Oh, it's the hacker, it's the troll." I was like, "Okay, well, come in and you can assess the information and try to deal with it." It turns out it was most likely him that was up to it since he had access to the account. But he tried to play it off like someone else hacked in to try to assess it. It
Well,
was real messed up stuff that they were doing with these thumbnails, man. I'll get
yeah.
into
Well,
that another time, but just another nugget of information to show that Rock Kapana was most likely the individual involved with this.
yeah.
At
Well,
least one of them.
I don't know if you remember this, but I was there at that point. Rock Eponum actually just introduced me to you, and we became friends. And then a couple of days later, the hack happened, and Rock told you that I was behind it, and we were actually like enemies for like a week or two.
Yeah, I remember that, man. At first, me and Rock were talking. He was like, "Yeah, it could be this guy Ridge." So then we went
Yeah,
at it a little bit. We went against each other for probably 2 or 3 weeks, but then we came to the conclusion, that it wasn't you or it wasn't me. So
yeah,
then ever since then, we've basically been friends. And
yeah,
man, let's say this, like out of the friend group back then, 8, 9 years ago, how many of us are still around today? If I'm not mistaken, it's really only me, you, Loving Christian, and
yeah.
then who else? Well, I mean, what's the other brother? Luke in the chat as well. He's from back then too. But other than that, I mean, it really isn't many other people, man.
Yeah, the Vigilant Soldier isn't, and Rock Eponum isn't.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure there's a couple other individuals too, but the
Oh,
mind
and
slipping from the mind.
yeah, Andrew Ashby's completely over. Remember, he does church songs now.
Oh yeah. Remember that video you sent me about him
Yeah,
singing his heart out in church? It's like, wow,
yeah,
this is what this knucklehead's up to now. Can't even
yeah,
do a damn good job at it.
yeah. I remember Cole Casper. Like, it was just a complete obsession, man. You remember how many videos he made on Mario?
Oh my god, it's not even a damn joke. The dude has like what 1,500 videos, a solid 1,300 are about TVC Mario.
Yeah,
It's like, damn, I haven't
yeah,
seen such a obsessive stalker like this before. It's so bizarre.
yeah. And then all the videos would be like an hour or two long.
Right. I mean, it's like, wow. I mean, I've never seen somebody have such a obsession with an individual, man. It really is strange.
Yeah, and
Shit,
you
I mean,
know we.
his channel seems like it would be on one of those like creepy pasta
I
iceberg list
know.
of like mysterious channels, right?
Yeah, and dude, the hilarious thing is like we already know about his past, what he was caught doing on certain websites. So, and then he mentioned before that he had dreams about him and Mario. So like you put two on two together, like obviously he liked Mario.
Right.
That's why he was so obsessed.
Yeah, man, it's just so bizarre and shocking, some of the individuals that you run into here on YouTube, man. It's just
And
really
and then
bizarre.
there's the lost video me and you never got to watch. I don't think you ever watched it. I know I haven't. It was the one time when Mario said, "I'm going to sue Cole Casper," that Cole Casper showed his face, and there's only that one screenshot from the video that's still out there of him putting his finger up, yelling. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I never got to see the full video. What about you?
No, I haven't seen it either, just seen the picture.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, it's definitely a lot of information we got to get into, man. As I said,
yeah.
I'm gonna bring you back up here, man, and we'll do like a good 2 hour conversation about this. You should probably, get a notepad and
Oh
doodle
yeah, yeah,
down some notes and stuff so we can, bring it up in the conversation to make sure it's addressed.
yeah. It's an entertaining story, man.
Yeah, it really is, man. And again, the sad thing is a lot of people don't know, right? A lot of people don't know the lore and the history. Hell, in other words, the iceberg, right? A lot of people don't know how deep the iceberg goes.
Yeah, yeah. Um. So yeah, man. And something else I've been meaning to ask you. Regards to the flat Earth thing is have you heard of a guy before named Simon Dan?
Yes.
Yeah, he constantly makes videos debunking it, and Jeranism actually is like friends with the dude now and does live streams talking about bashing like conspiracy theories and stuff.
Yeah, man, it's really weird, Jaron's case. Like, sure, maybe he believes the flat Earth is wrong now after that, but how are you going to turn your back on 50 other conspiracies that you're questioning? Like even if, which for the record, I'm a flat earther, but even if the flat Earth was false, that doesn't now
Uh,
mean all these other 50 theories that you were teaching previously are now all wrong. Like the moon landing, for an example. Shit, it wouldn't surprise me that if next year Jaron believes that the moon landing actually happened. Like even Jake the a-hole made a prediction. It's like, hell, just wait and see. Jeranism's gonna teach the moon landings actually happened soon. So hell, we're waiting to see if his prophecy comes to fruition.
yeah. What is your take like on the theories that like that whole thing is just completely fake? The
Yeah, that's total nonsense. Like I watched a lot of these channels saying that, like Air Dubay or there's so many channels out there, you can't even mention them all. It's all made in a Hollywood studio. It's all just CGI. It's all editing. It's like, no, it's totally stupid. They've done multiple live streams proving that they're actually there. I mean, there's so much proof that they actually went there, that this wasn't a faked experiment. Now, we could disagree as to like what the information means regarding everything. That's one thing, but to deny that it actually happened at all is just a totally other delusional way of thinking. Like, how the hell are we going to get to any type of conclusion with the information if we can't even agree that they actually even went there to get the information? It
yeah,
turns into like a never-ending argument. Totally stupid.
yeah, man, and some of the the theories surrounding it were like so insane. It just goes to show like the absolute like conspiracy paranoia some people have. Like one of them was like saying that Jeranism or whoever, the way they were moving while they were there in Antarctica, they were performing a Masonic ritual. The way he was walking.
Wow, it's totally ridiculous. Just
Yeah,
absolutely stupid, man.
yeah,
Well, again, it just shows you the limits that some people go to, man. There's no limits to the buffoonery out here. People will make up anything to get clicks and views and to, not believe something. Like these knuckleheads that believe, oh, well, sure, 9/11 was an inside job, but hey, the airplanes weren't even real at all. It's like, what the
yeah,
hell? So now we're going into sci-fi fiction. You know what I'm saying? It's just totally stupid how some people think, man.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's even like some people that believe nobody died, like they were crisis actors and fake witnesses, and it's like you couldn't do that. Like that's impossible,
Right.
considering it's like the biggest city in America, and you know, um, but yeah, like some of the stuff with 9/11, man, just gets insane. Um, like uh, I think there's like missile theories and alien
Right.
theories, and all kinds of
Right. And
crazy stuff like that.
like blue beam, like they're just, like CGI. But yo,
Yeah.
man, my phone's on 3%, so I am gonna have to get going here. Um, but as I said, I put my Gmail on screen, so after this, do contact me over there
Okay, well,
so we can stay in contact and we'll work out a time to do a stream together. Sound good?
yeah, man. Talk to you later, bro.
All right, thanks for stopping by, man. Have a
Yeah, of
good night.
course, man. You too.
All right. Yeah, I would stay on here longer with Ridge. Enjoy talking to Ridge, but my phone is at 3% here, so I do have to jump off. I appreciate everybody stopping by for tonight's live stream. I will go live and host an open panel on Thursday night, so if you'd like to hop up, that is your chance. Um, Hey, you get to put your money where your mouth is, right? You got a question or a comment, topic of debate, click the link. Anybody made it to the end of the live stream, go ahead and put hashtag the mind of God, right? Hashtag mind of God. So anyway, I'll see y'all on another night and see you around.